live now, so.
Live.
Hello, everyone. Oh, more comments. Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Hey.
Just say hello to everyone. Crabs, thank you for participating. Cosmere Wear friend Haley just likes to come support us.
Aww.
Oh, we got like a little crab crowd.
Love it.
So many people.
Oh my gosh, now it's blowing up.
Right?
Crabs.
Crab hat. Crab costume.
I'm in a full crab costume. Hello, excuse you?
Right? We have a whole crab.
I'm a whole crab.
Hey.
A whole crab.
Yeah.
Yay, Katrina's back.
All right. Okay.
I love it.
We'll wait for more people to get in here before we talk about anything serious or anything.
I don't know what you're talking about. We have nothing serious to say.
No, not really.
What is serious?
I'm in a crab costume.
How are you, Katrina?
I'm good. I just finished eating dinner, and now I'm here, and I made it here in time.
You did.
Woo.
Seconds to spare. I love it.
Yes, there are quite a few of us.
Yeah, this is the most I've ever had on one before.
Yeah.
Crabs.
Oh, crab.
You get it, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, how many people in the comments are like Cosmere Ware know about the crabs?
It's a spoiler-free chat, so we're not going to say anything spoilery about any of the Cosmere books. Just know your Cosmere aware levels.
Listen, lady.
Casey's mom.
What?
That is my mom.
This is sad.
I cannot wait to be in on this joke. I want in so
Oh my
much.
God.
On the crabs.
Me too.
I want to know.
Like I'm probably like the biggest fake fan in the Discord because I'm like hyping this thing so much.
Oh,
But like I don't know anything.
So much joy, Spencer.
I'm not as far in as everyone else. Like I am only like somewhat into the Cosmere. Like I haven't read everything yet.
Yeah, but you're like halfway.
Oh yeah, I'm just missing a couple books.
All I know is from Bree's announcement video.
I'm missing Oathbringer and Rhythm of War
Oh man.
at this point, pretty much. It's getting real.
Crabs are
weird.
here too.
Katrina got kicked out?
Oh no.
Oh no.
You see
Hi.
new invites to Katrina.
Weird.
See.
Crabs were my first Cosmere.
Hang on. Okay. Katrina, I have sent a new thing to the Discord chat.
Crab.
Again. I don't know why.
I wonder how many people here are starting with Elantris this month.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder how many people like that's their first. It's gonna be their first.
I'm sorry. Okay, I did.
Why? Why are you apologizing?
Because it's not the best place to start.
But it's the OG, so that's okay.
I mean, it is his debut novel, so
And also, if it's
Yeah.
like it starts here and it only improves as well.
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So, hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Here's the other thing too. I feel like anyone who's interested in this probably has had already kind of an introduction to high fantasy, so Elantris wouldn't be like so much of a stretch, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not read high fantasy, and I brought you on to read
Oh my
Elantris.
god.
I'm so sorry.
I've never read fantasy at all.
Mistborn.
People that have never read fantasy at all. Like, let's jump in.
Best, especially given new information of recent days.
Right. Well, Mistborn's like one of my first, not the first like high fantasy I read, but it was
To start, and it's also a great intro to fantasy. Mistborn.
yeah. It was my first book in like 7 years after having kids. Like it was my like reintroduction into like I'm gonna start reading again.
Nice.
So I just dove right in.
Well, like Elantris, let me just tell you, it gets better as you go. Okay,
I'm
guys?
halfway in Elantris, and I'm liking it.
I'm about 150 pages in at the moment.
50 pages in. I barely started. I mean, it's a reread for me. But I
Yeah.
don't remember it.
How
So
many pages is it?
I'm
I'm almost
halfway. I hit the halfway part.
Okay, Katrina's back.
Yay!
Okay.
Let's see how this goes.
Hey.
It's better laptop. So fingers crossed.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
Yay.
How many pages is Elantris?
It's
Elena,
about 650, 680,
Yeah.
Depends what copy you have.
something like that.
I think my copy's short. Well, it's taller, but it's not. It was only like 500 and something.
it's 550 in like this big flop.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
My one's, I've got the 10th anniversary one. It's got some extra bits in it.
Mhm.
It's got,
Oh, yeah,
like,
it's orange
it's got like deleted scenes at the back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
they're
has
cool.
some in the back too. I'm like excited to get to those.
Okay, the first time I
Pretty
read
cool.
Elantris, it was not the edition with like the new content, so that's exciting. But I don't remember most of it. Anyways, that's the only Sanderson book or the Cosmere that I've not reread. I've only read it the once, and it was like 6 years ago. So
Okay.
I remember how much I love Serene. That's how I say her name.
I mean, if that's not how you say
Serene.
your name, then I'm wrong.
The audiobook says it.
The
Serene.
audiobook's Serene, and I don't like it.
I can't do that. It's
Serene
Serene.
is worse.
Listen, everybody can do their own thing with the pronunciations because we all know I say Jasna and that's incorrect. Don't come at me.
I mean, that's how I said it for the longest time too. And I'm like, I'm there with Jasna.
No, we're here with Jasmine now.
It's a J.
Okay.
Right? It is one
Is it pronounced like
Funny.
Yasna?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. It's
Ooh.
Jasna.
Jasna, which is even
But it's
worse.
never mentioned,
Yeah.
like in text, that it's pronounced that way.
It's never
Yeah.
mentioned in text that the J's are pronounced with a Y sound, which like if you don't tell me before I start reading the names, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna read them right, okay?
That's only right.
I mean, same.
Here's the thing
A
with
long
like
time ago,
Elantris, it's supposed to be Elantris, and it's like, come on,
Nope.
it's not Elantris.
Nah, that sounds like bullshit. I'm sorry.
That's incorrect.
That's just wrong.
It's like I
Jasna
don't
is super fun to say.
like I can't do the audiobooks. Like I can't comprehend audiobooks. I can't absorb them. So like I never know the pronunciations. I'm
Yeah.
just like can't.
I think the audiobooks don't even follow it. I don't think the
Yeah.
audiobooks follow it too.
Some of them do, some of them don't. It's
Yeah.
weird.
It's always fun to just figure out how people
That's
say
the narrators.
And I feel like Sanderson has always said just like do what you want. Like say
Yeah, he
it how you
doesn't care.
want.
people
He
be like,
doesn't care.
this, and he'll be like, well, this is how he even has this thing with Mistborn where he says, well, people say Kelsier's name like Kelsier, but people in world would say his name Kelsier, like with a French sound. And I'm like, why the
No, they would not.
That's cool though. I like that.
cool
Yeah.
thing? I'm just like, how you gonna come at me and be like, well, this is how we say it, but in book, this is how the other characters. I'm like, dude, take it down a notch.
Right? Come on.
Chill.
I love him, but like,
But at least
Yeah,
he's
no,
not
no,
so like some other authors I've seen that are like, no, you are wrong.
yeah.
He's pretty accepting of everything.
Yes.
That's just like you do you. Yeah. It is always fun when you see people who like only do the audiobooks, like when they talk about a character and they're like, I don't know how to spell this name and seeing how they spell it based on
Yeah,
the
right.
pronunciation. Like it always brings me kind of a little bit of joy. Just like sitting there like mistyping of the spell. I don't know how to spell it. I'm like, you know what?
Right? Like
It's weird fantasy names. You did your best.
you tried. You had an A for effort.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
I
a lot
can't
of
spell regular names.
It's a lot of lore on the names.
like if you see a ferochemist name, you know it.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Just broke Brianna in one sentence.
Right.
Okay, so we got like 19 people in here now. I think that's
Oh my gosh.
streams at one time. I don't think we've passed more than like 10 people and watching the
That's a
stream.
lot, yeah.
That is.
Yeah. All right. So do we want to go around and everybody kind of introduce themselves? Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
How are we introducing ourselves though?
We'll go in order of how we are on the screen, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you might know me and Casey because this is our channel, but if you're I'm Brianna, one half of Books Before Death, and then Casey's the other half of Books Before Death. We're very Cosmere aware, and I have 5 cats. Good fact about me. Casey, your turn.
We are, in fact, depending on how Cosmere where you are, we are hordlings together.
We are.
And I have a dog, but she's with my mom right now. She's downstairs. And I read literally anything. I will read any genre you put in front of me.
I like fantasy.
Spencer, on to you.
Hello, I'm Spencer from the channel Sphinx Reads. I'm fairly new to BookTube, so but I am. Well, I don't know why I blanked out. Okay, but I've only read Like from Sanderson, I've only read the first 2 books in the Reckoners trilogy, and I'm almost done with Elantris. So I'm super excited to like keep reading more Cosmere.
Yay.
Woo!
Steph.
Hi guys, my name's Steph. My channel's Coffee Over Apples. I'm not Cosmere aware. I am starting in February with Warbreaker, and I'm hoping that there's some crab action in there because I'm dying to know. I don't want to wait until that next one is. I read a lot of horror, sci-fi, fantasy. I run 2 book clubs, a sci-fi book club with Max, and also a manga book club. And I do TBR games and random goodness. So yeah, pass it over to Max.
Random goodness.
I'm Max. I'm from Max Reads. I've been on BookTube since like April. In terms of Cosmere stuff, in terms of Sanderson stuff, I'm like pure virgin. Aside from like 100 pages I've read this week, I don't read that much high fantasy either. So this is like in at the deep end, like huge commitment for this year, and like hoping that it pays off. But I'll read anything. I'm mostly sci-fi guy though.
Oh, me. I'm Jessie. I'm from the Bookish Mom. I've been on BookTube about a year now. I have 2 small heathens and a dog. And I also read mostly fantasy and some sci-fi. And I am pretty Cosmere aware. I'm only missing a couple books here and there. So a lot of this is rereads for me. So I'm very excited. Right, Katrina.
Hi, I'm Katrina. I was lucky enough to be on YouTube for so long that my channel name is just my name. That's cool. Got a unique name there. I met Casey and Bree at Playlist Live in 2014.
Oh my god.
And I've never read anything Sanderson despite them telling me to for like 6 years now. So I'm finally doing it. I mostly read young adult contemporary, pretty much anything queer. I do a lot of queer books. Comics, nonfiction, that's my home base, but I'm excited to read more fantasy this year, which I will be guaranteed to do.
Yes.
Yay!
So exciting.
For all of you who are watching, if you're not subscribed to all these lovely people, all of their links are in the description down below. So please check out their channels if you have not already. They are all fabulous.
Aww.
I love all of you.
I love seeing all the like different levels of like what we all read because it's all so different. Like
Across the board, which is great.
Yeah.
right. Like contemporaries scare the crap out of me. Like I'm like, I can't handle this.
Contemporaries are like basically fantasy right now. They are.
True.
I read a book when someone went outside on a bus. So like
Exactly. You're like, oh, what are you doing?
Like that's a thing people do.
Wild.
My husband in the background. Hey, at least he's wearing pants this time, y'all.
Proud of him.
It happened before. We like walked by like in
There's no guarantee that any of us are wearing pants. So.
I have a full onesie.
I was about to say the same thing, but
like there's never a guarantee.
I have arms.
Arms. You have a tank top on. It's Florida. It's always hot.
Casey, I think your position and like this like whole stream thing is like perfect because you're like front and center. I mean like at the top. So good job.
Thank you.
Epic.
So,
Oh my god, I don't think Bree and I talked about it, but we're very Cosmere aware.
yes, I've read The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance 14 times in the last 6 months. Worrying about it.
I don't think there is a next level of awareness.
I don't think
Guys.
There is, because there
Well,
are
after
The next
living
level of
with
awareness
Warren-
is just being Brandon Sanderson.
yes. Like becoming Sanderson.
or like Adam. You need to become Adam.
You're transcending into you're like becoming super sane.
and I were at a Brandon Sanderson signing, and this was, I mean, we were pretty Cosmere aware at that point, but we weren't as well versed in like the deep dive stuff that like the crazy people get into. That's not even like in the books.
Oh yeah.
Conversation with some people who are like big names on this website called the 17th Shard. Shout out, guys, which is like the main huge Cosmere fan site.
Shout out to the card.
People, and we were just like half the time we were just kind of like nodding along, like we kind of know what they're talking about. It was just some of the stuff can really go over your head.
If we go to a
Sounds like me.
signing,
I'd be like,
Good old, realmatic theory and investiture.
if you go to a sighting in the Chicago area, you will probably meet Argent.
I love
He
it.
will have a list of questions that you can ask Sanderson. They are terrifying.
Yeah.
They're like questions that you would never fathom thinking.
to ask.
See,
Yeah.
I would say that we're like top tier of like the normal crazy.
The normal crazy.
Other people like Argent, and then after that, it's your Brandon Sanderson himself.
We aspire to be Argent.
We do aspire to be Argent.
It's too much for me.
And also, if you haven't read through Rhythm of War and everything before that, do not go on the 17th Shard. There are so many spoilers there.
Don't go to the Coppermind either, which is like the
For
wiki.
the Coppermind.
Oh, see, that one is the one I'm familiar with, is Coppermine.
See, the thing is, you think, oh, I can go there and I can just search this one thing, and it won't spoil me for anything.
No, it won't.
You're incorrect. Don't do it.
Unless you're like me and like a whore for spoilers.
If
And
you don't
then-
care for spoilers, that's fine. But if you don't want to be spoiled for anything, do not go on the Coppermind.
Yeah.
Everything, at least everything you plan to read, I should say. But yeah, if you are a part of this read along and you're in the Discord and you have a question and you don't want to like just go spoiler yourself, just ask us in the Discord. We're people. We'll
Don't
You're
Google.
probably not.
answer you, or we will say Raffo.
We might raffle you.
Which, by the way, means read and find out. It's like a coined term from Brandon Sanderson kind of adopted. And that's what this shirt is.
I love it.
That's epic.
I have my card.
I can't wait till like signings are a real thing again.
Oh,
Like,
right.
I want to go to a
Me too.
signing.
Oh my god.
I know. I was talking to some friends the other day and we're like, man, I want to go to like events again. I miss people.
There was like so many things I was supposed to do last year.
Yeah, like I really wanted to go to like BookNet Fest because it's really, for one, it's really local to me because it's in Orlando. So like it's a drive, like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I want to go. And like I talked to a bunch of people and we were all going to go. And then of course, like, no,
No. Mm-mm.
No,
it's just
last
not going to
year,
happen.
considering going to the book, which one? Whatever one, Casey. That's near you.
PDA.
Oh yeah, the
Well,
one.
it's not called that anymore, but whatever.
Yeah,
I was gonna go to that with Casey this last year.
yeah,
I was planning. I was like, we're booktubers now. I want to go.
right.
Didn't happen.
What?
I know. I miss events and stuff.
Yes, you will know all of the things soon.
Yeah, definitely. You have to finish row first, though.
Yeah.
You have to finish Row.
There's a lot in Rhythm of War.
so much.
Do we know when the next book is coming out?
Isn't it like 3 years?
For the Stormlight book, it's going to be 2023.
But next year,
We got-
2022.
This year, there should
What?
be the Skyward book, which
Yeah.
but that's coming out this year. He does a book every year, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Skyward 3, which is right now titled Nowhere, which I
I'm
like.
so excited. It's not Cosmere, but I freaking love Skyward.
It's real good, guys.
It's
It's real
so good. If you have not read Skyward,
Yes,
I heard that Skyward feels really YA.
it does. It,
it
does.
does.
It's
Yeah.
It is.
pure YA sci-fi fun adventure.
Is
But
it
like YA is so hit or miss, and he just like hits the YA where it's like not that obnoxious. Like it's not annoying me as somebody that's in my 30s. Like it's not like, oh god, this is like I should give this to my niece. Like
Yeah.
I'm just so involved in these characters.
Yeah, no, Skyward is super. So the third book in that series is coming out later this year. I think he's planning for a fall release for that. And then next year, we should be getting the fourth book in the Mistborn Era 2 series.
I am so excited for that.
Me too.
And
feel
then
like-
next year after that should be the fifth Stormlight book, which, if you didn't know, Stormlight Archive is going to be 10 books, but the first 5 is its own arc. Then there's going to be a 10-year gap in world. And then the back 5 is going to be its own arc. So book 5 is going to come out, and I'm scared.
Okay, I have a
Big
question about that.
commitment.
Yeah.
So what
Like,
does that mean? He's not going
There's
to
like a
finish.
10-year gap. Are we following like still like the same characters, or is it like a totally different?
I don't
chapter?
think we know, do we?
We know some stuff. We don't know a lot. So the back 5 of Stormlight, we know right now who all of like because like I mean obviously the POVs, there's a lot of POVs in the books, but like each book has a flashback character that it kind of focuses on. You get that character's flashbacks in that book. So each like that person's book, and we know all of the characters who are getting a book. And no, that does not mean that character will be alive till that point. He has verified this, so don't get your hopes up when you start reading and you're like, oh, this person gets a book in the back half, they'll be alive then. That doesn't mean shit.
They could be dead.
He's great at killing off his characters.
I'm
Am
not
I,
a-
am I gonna be sad this year?
Oh yes. I'm sorry.
Listen, you're starting.
We're trying to leave that behind us.
Mistborn Era
I
1
think I
is
know
gonna
enough about
destroy.
Stormlight to know that like Cal is gonna make me like super depressed like this year.
Oh, Kaladin's my favorite.
He's a
Kaladin.
good baby.
Kaladin is the lead and also my favorite character in all of fiction.
It's a tie between Kaladin and Kelsier.
But yeah,
I'm Kelsier for sure.
I love Kelsier.
about how she is literally Kelsier and I'm literally Kaladin, and it's both directions.
It's very concerning. I'm concerned about us as humans.
Yes. So the fun
Yeah.
fact,
Yeah.
Era 2 actually happens after the first arc of Stormlight Archive, but it's like being released now. So for people who are reading the series, keep that in mind, I guess, when you're reading. But that actually takes place after the first 5 books of Stormlight Archive.
Also, if you don't want to say Mistborn Era 2, you can say the Yeehaw Era.
The yeehaw
As
era.
we refer to
Yeehaw.
it.
Very
I always
wet.
called it Wax and Wayne.
Yeah.
At the end of the year will break your heart.
Yeah. Love the Kaladin love. Yes.
We love Kaladin.
We do. I love Kaladin.
Steph, were you gonna ask something a second ago?
Actually, yeah, I think I was doing math in my head. Like, okay, you said 10 books and every 3 years. So how old are we going to be?
Are we gonna be?
Finished not just Stormlight, but the full Cosmere. Like, I think we got like 30 more years of this. Like, I don't even know. People have done the math. It hurts my brain a lot.
He needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now, because where we're at right now within the Cosmere timeline, we're almost done with Mistborn Era 2, and we're halfway through Stormlight Archive. And there's going to be 4 Mistborn eras, which means
yeah.
the second era takes place 300 years after the first era. So I think it's about a similar like 300-year jump between each era. That's why it's called an era. The first era is kind of medieval-y. Second era is kind of Western. Third era is going to be like 80s vibes in the
Yes.
space opera situation. And
That excites me.
the fourth era timeline is going to line up with the end of Stormlight's timeline. Like they're going to kind of be similar timelines, supposedly.
I just want to see what the inside of Brandon Sanderson's like imagination looks like. Like, how?
He writes so fast. So
Right? It's okay because we will still finish the entire Cosmere before we probably have like the end of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
That's never happening. That's never
that's
happening.
never happened. That and what is it?
And the Killer.
Doors of Stone, the last
Yeah,
and the King
the last
Killer.
office.
Like we're not getting the last King Killer book. We're not getting any more Game of Thrones. Like
Wayne series takes place after Stormlight Book 5. I forgot about this until recently, and it was brought to my attention again recently.
It was brought to our attention recently. Yes.
In the world, it takes place after the first 5 books of Stormlight Archive. So if you've been reading Stormlight Archive, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
yes.
Just some of
Yeah,
those.
that person.
So I didn't know any of this when I started. I was just like, Mistborn sounds really cool. So I picked up the first Mistborn book and then I read all 3 and I was like, wait, there's a second like spin-off? Like that's cool. So I picked that up.
Yeah.
And then I went in off the deep end.
Yep.
Deanna is correct. It was only supposed to be a single book.
Speaking, Mistborn Era
Yeah.
there was supposed to be a second era, but the Alloy of Law was supposed to be like its own little novella before he did Era 2, and it became Era 2 because it was just so good.
It was good. I don't understand why so many people are anti Wax and Wayne.
I will fight people who don't like Wayne.
I love Wayne.
Yes. Obviously,
Yes.
also for anyone who's enjoying this read along, if you're reading any of the Cosmere books and you're like, I don't like this, or I don't want to finish it, I want to DNF and like read the next thing.
Fine.
No one's gonna judge you. Like obviously Casey and I especially were like deep Cosmere stands, but like you are free to do whatever you want. If you're like, I hated this. We'll be like, cool, move on to the next thing.
Oh,
Like,
it's fine.
I'm not gonna judge you. So feel free. But yeah, you're basically dedicating your entire life to
Dedicated the rest of my
Your-
life to
your whole
the
life
Brando Sando.
mind on.
Yeah, I feel like there's no like casual Brandon Sanderson fans.
I don't know how you do it. How
I
you
don't
do
know.
casual.
I've seen
Right?
like on BookTube when they talk about like his books, and they've read like most of like the main Cosmere books, but they aren't like super versed in like Cosmere stuff that's even in the books. Like there's
Yeah.
stuff that you really got to pay attention to, and it also probably depends on like the way you read things and if you knew about the Cosmere when you started kind of situation. But
Listen, if you don't hear the word investiture and groan internally, like you're not a Cosmere person.
Which is why I'm excited to reread because like I read the whole Mistborn series before I even like knew that there was like a greater like Cosmere. So
Yeah, I started with Stormlight and worked my way back.
Yeah, we both started with Stormlight.
oh,
Yep, Casey was reading it. This was before Casey and I were like super close, but we were friends. And she just kept talking about The Way of Kings on Twitter. And I was like, that sounds good. I want to read that. And then like a couple months later, she just sent it to me in a box. She's like, here's this. There's gonna be a bunch of books, but that was in that box. That happened to be the last book in that box you sent me that I read, by the way. Because I was like, this is huge. I don't
But you read huge books all the time.
I know, but it was daunting. I was in a very depressive state at that
That's
point.
true.
I was like, I don't want to read this. I want to read these.
2014 was not a good year.
Not a good year. But yeah, and I didn't read the back of the book. I didn't have any prior knowledge. All I knew was Casey loved it and it was fantasy. That's all I knew going into the Starlight Archive. And it was just falling down the rabbit hole. Like after I finished the first 2 books were out at that point, I like went online and I was like, so what's going on with this? And I was like, wait, what the fuck is a Cosmere?
right. There's a whole world.
And then I read everything up that was out at that point within like a few months after that.
So jumping into it now, like obviously I've got like 14, 15 books that are just there. They're done. They're ready for me to like get. How far were you into it before you got to a point where you had to like wait for more?
When I started the Cosmere, the first 2 Stormlight books were out. I think Words of Radiance was fairly new. So for Stormlight, it was just 2 books. But right now we're only 4 books in. And I started reading in 2014. So that's when I started reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6, as far as Mistborn, all of Era 1 was complete. And I think only the first book,
I think only Alloy was out.
Alloy was out because I had it when Bands came out. I had to like go back and reread. I also read Shadows of Self.
Yeah, because I have Shadows of Self in like a hardcover.
Yeah, same.
So I had to get it right when it came out. Yeah, and because I sent you Words of Radiance, and I was so annoyed because I couldn't find a soft cover of it because they weren't out yet. So I had to send you a hardcover.
Yep. Yeah. So as far as the timelines go, obviously Elantris and Warbreaker were already out as well, and those Warbreaker is eventually going to get a sequel, but that's like way down the line.
I don't see what he's gonna do because like that. It was just like to me, it's a good standalone.
It's a good standalone, but it leaves you with some questions.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure. Is it the second book called Nightblood?
Second book is called Nightblood.
Oh, it has a title. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that though.
Now I don't remember if it's clear if it's supposed to be like a prequel or a sequel. Like if it's supposed to tell a lot of backstory.
It might be both.
I think it might be both because it's called Nightblood.
Yeah, so that would make sense.
Yeah, but
Everyone else is like, I don't get it, but like that makes sense.
yeah.
Listen,
We haven't
This
talked
is the
about
best.
Warbreaker though.
go ahead.
So
love
on his website, like Brandon Sanderson, like he has like a list of suggestions like where to start like within his books, and then he suggests like if you like romance, like read Warbreaker. But like he's the only person who's ever like said that. Like I've never heard anyone said like if you like romance, read Warbreaker. So
See, the thing is, Sanderson doesn't really do romance, but
Yeah,
an actual like cute romance in Warbreaker. Like as far as like
yeah.
as far as Sanderson's romances go, that's probably like the most like romance it's, which is it's pretty low key. It's not like romance,
No.
like a romance
Yeah.
plot, I should say, and it's a very low key romance plot. But
I
Right,
think
I'm
even, like the romance in the original Mistborn series is more like romancy to me.
I think so.
it is, but it's not like it's not like laid on thick because he's not like super big at the romance plots. Like it's there,
Yeah.
like characters fall in love and things like that happen, but it's like not like
The Warbreaker one's just really fun.
it's real fun.
It is fun. The Warbreaker one's fun. I do prefer Mistborns though.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that.
Yes, Warbreaker has a lusty character in it. This is true. Blushweaver? Is that
Hey,
her name?
Oh yeah.
There's a character named Blushweaver in Warbreaker.
Love her.
Lusty lady.
I love
Very.
describing Warbreaker as like a world where the magic system has to do with color. There's a talking murder sword, and there are gods that don't believe in their own religion.
That's perfect.
wow.
And Warbreaker got the short end of the stick on covers too.
Yeah, I like it. I like it in hardcover, but in like smaller covers, it doesn't look as
Yeah,
good.
like I just don't like the US cover of it.
I love the UK covers.
The
I
UK
think
cover.
I was put off for so long because the UK cover is so crap. Like I
Oh,
hate.
really? I like it better than
I-
the US.
I like it better than the US, but I still don't like the UK one either. I don't like the white UK covers that much.
Yeah, they're rubbish. I don't like
I
them.
like them.
The UK cover.
I like them if you like collect like all of them, but like individually, like I like the covers, like the US covers more.
Yeah, individually they're not like super.
Hold on, Steph. I'll grab one.
but when they're all lined up together, they look super nice. Like,
I have a thing for the Mistborn, like the hardback Mistborn covers, the US ones. Those are my favorite.
those ones are nice.
Okay.
Like I searched and found those. Like, yeah.
This is Warbreaker.
Okay.
And then I don't know what I even grabbed. Alloy Blonde Shadows for Self.
Yeah, they all have like very matching schemes.
Yeah.
They're like
Hmm.
matching.
I have a love for like cheesy old school fantasy covers though. So like the
That's
like
fair.
yeah, like Way of Kings and like the whole Starlight Archives. Like I just love those covers.
Those are
They look almost like cheesy Wheel of Time covers, and I just love them.
They're a lot.
They're a lot.
Yes.
I actually think it's my screensaver on my phone. This is the cover of Words of Radiance, or
So good.
no, I have Rhythm of War as my phone screensaver.
I'd probably do Oathbringer.
I have
For Stormlight is the like main POV, the person on the cover. So like, wait, is it Kaladin? No, it's Dalinar first, right? And the way
No.
it paints like the cover.
No, it's
It's actually
Kaladin.
no one.
Way of
It's
Kings
no one
cover,
on the first one.
I like to say that it's Dalinar or someone else, but it's literally just a like generic knight type
Okay.
character on the cover.
But then it's Kaladin and Words of Radiance.
It's a specific character on each cover.
Then Talon. No, Navani in Oathbringer.
No.
No.
No, Oathbringer is
Is it
Jasmine.
Talon? Oh no.
You have to read and find out, Spencer.
I just want to know already. Come on.
Spoilers. Who's on the cover? A spoiler? Like,
I mean, technically speaking, it kind of can be.
kinda.
In a way, especially, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, especially that one. I didn't even think of that.
I didn't either, but
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, but no, I would say not necessarily like the main. The thing is, there isn't in the first book. In Way of Kings, you follow like 3 main point of views. There's other
Right.
characters, obviously, and there also is this thing that happens from our cover. These interludes, which happen like about between every part because the book is split into parts, and it kind of takes you out of the main story into somewhere else in the world. And a lot of people don't like it because it pulls you out of the story, but it's showing you a wider like image of the world itself, what's happening in other places. Sometimes it doesn't seem relevant, but it's usually always relevant, even if it's in a small way. So, but
Right.
the main 3 POVs in the first book are Kaladin, Shaylin, and Dalinar, and so you just follow those 3. But the POVs that you actually follow get more and more as you go through the book. So like who's on the cover is not necessarily the main point of view in that book because there's plenty of point of views, and it's like definitely it's pretty balanced. And it also doesn't necessarily align. The covers don't necessarily align with who the flashback character is because I thought that's what he was going to do, and he didn't. So there's that. Yeah.
I'm excited.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of
It is. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Everyone erase that from your memory.
No,
But can we just talk about how Elle said I love cheese?
Okay, I just know that there's like a stone giant in the background, but I have to read and find out, I guess.
I love
You
cheese
do have to read
also.
and find out.
Is this what this is about?
Yes, I don't know.
Saying that you love cheese because I mean I also love cheese.
I don't know what that's about, but I also love cheese, so I thought we should
Right, like
know
I'm
it.
like not really sure, but
I don't know if it's about the food or about the potential romances.
In honor of Twilight not being with us at the moment, she's away.
Yeah. For those
She
who
also
don't know,
loves cheese.
Twilight. She's in the hospital right now.
oh,
And the interludes are short story breaks. That makes sense.
Exactly. That's a good way to look at it too, because like I know a lot of people don't vibe with the interludes.
I love the interludes.
Me
You
too.
know, I will say that I didn't like enjoy them as much on my first read. Like I did not like them, but they do pull you out of the story, so it can be fun. Why am I here now? Like I'm reading about Kaladin or Dalinar or whatever.
I was like that at first, and then I was like, I kind of like these. After Words of Radiance, actually, when I read Edge Dancer,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah,
I like that character.
the more I read, the more I really
Love
enjoy
that character.
Also, there's things kind of hidden in some of the interludes that don't seem relevant when you're reading them for a first time, but upon reread, you might be like, oh, that's actually super relevant. Oh, that was foreshadowing for this thing that comes up later. Not
Yeah,
all of them, but some of them do have that.
There is my favorite interlude. I'm not going to say the character name, but my favorite interlude
Don't spoil it.
is in Rhythm of War, the
Wow.
last grouping of interludes.
Yes.
I haven't gotten
We
there
all
yet.
flipped out.
See it because it's not like the others.
Oh, you'll know, Jesse, when you see it. You'll know
No, it's
immediately.
not like that. I'm over here like I'm just gonna like grab it, start flipping through. Like, what do you mean? Skip a whole book.
No, no.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's
I just want to start Stormlight. Like, I don't even want to read the others first.
You
I
can
don't want to
start
go through all
whatever
of
you
that.
want.
Like,
But Mistborn is special to me.
Mistborn's so good. But yeah, if you definitely want to catch some of those like bigger, you absolutely need to read Mistborn, both
Yeah.
eras. And you definitely need to read Warbreaker. I'm gonna go grab this cat that's crying outside my door.
Warbreaker for sure.
Warbreaker, yeah. Before Stormlight, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So
Yeah.
definitely joining for Warbreaker, but if I don't come back until Way of Kings, how much will I have missed?
For the first few books of Stormlight, you won't have missed that much. But I will say that later in Stormlight, I mean, obviously the Cosmere is supposed to be like all intertwined and related, and we're really starting to get that in the Stormlight series. So I'll say, yeah, not a ton, but you probably want to have read the first era of Mistborn.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I've really seen much of a connection, and I've only read the first 2 Stormlight.
It really gets bigger in books.
Rhythm of War
That's what I keep hearing is
blew our mind.
Oathbringer and Rhythm of War, like that's where it ties all together. So
Yeah, definitely at least era 1.
Got it.
The thing is, it's very subtle up until
There's the era 2 thing.
yeah,
it was like, oh, we're doing this.
we're going there.
The casual readers, even like casual readers who've read multiple things and would maybe know the connections, are still might miss some of the stuff because it goes from being like where it's like anything that's sprinkled in that like you might not catch might be something that you just like you assume you're not supposed to know. You don't question it. You're like, oh, we'll figure that out later. I'm not gonna with it. But in Rhythm of War, it's at that point where like the balancing of like what people who aren't like fully Cosmere aware might start getting confused. We're like at that point now where I mean like I really want to know for people who've read Stormlight but not the other things, like what their like level of confusion or awareness was on all of the stuff before, because obviously I'm aware and I was like,
right,
oh, all of this is happening right now.
I actually have a friend who just finished Rhythm of War, but she's just now starting Mistborn Era 1.
Oh.
So like she read all of Stormlight. So I'll have to ask her. I'll be like, Leslie. It's Leslie at the Nerdy Narrative. Okay. I don't know if any of you know who she is. Sweetheart. Love her. She's actually local to me too. But she's read all of Stormlight, but not Mistborn. So she's starting that. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, it's definitely all starting to like get interconnected, and it's crazy. It blew my mind in Rhythm of War how much like stuff is going on. Like Elle said that they feel like they missed a bunch of stuff because they hadn't read Mistborn. Like yeah, I can see that because
there's a lot of connection to Mistborn.
There's a lot of stuff dropped in there.
That makes me excited to get through it.
You're gonna really love it.
And I'm rereading Mistborn too with the Stormalong or with the read along, so I'm like excited to reread it.
Yeah.
Oathbringer was a bizarre experience. I need to know.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Oathbringer would be a bizarre experience before Warbreaker.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh.
Warbreaker connections and Stormlight start in Words of Radiance.
Yeah.
And they get a little bit bigger as you go. So it's like, I mean, obviously I started with Stormlight, so I didn't question the connections there. I didn't know.
Like, what's going on?
And then I read Warbreaker and I was like, oh, that's that. That's that.
That thing.
That thing.
And then sometimes, I think in like the first Stormlight book, one of the point of view chapters, you see someone from Mistborn Era 1 that's like just from someone else's point of view, and you're like, oh, that's that person. But then it's never mentioned again.
Ever.
Yeah.
I had watched something with Sanderson. It was like an interview that he did where he said that he like obviously has had the Cosmere like in his head for like so long, but he didn't know if they'd like let him do it like when he was like a new published author. So it was like super slight at first, like just little Easter eggs, and now he's like, he's Brandon Sanderson, so he can do whatever he wants.
He wants.
He can just do what he wants at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, like in a
He's like
Warbreaker,
it starts out real, yeah.
It's more subtle, but then I feel like Mistborn Era 2 is when he started being like, all right, so investiture of this, and you're like, oh my god, stop talking.
Wait, what?
When they drop the word investiture on page, it's the investiture is basically like the term for like all of the magic, like all of the magics from all the different books. That's investiture basically, and that's I explained some of that in in my Cosmere reading order video because I gave a little bit of
They
Cosmere back.
basically gave a PowerPoint presentation in
Right.
Wishlist too, which is like my favorite moment.
Right. I'm like, I need this PowerPoint in my life.
Thank you for this PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person that needs that. I need visuals. Like, I need someone to tell me what I'm missing.
And honestly, I will say the first time you read the investiture PowerPoint, you will not understand it.
That shit went right over my head. I was like, cool. What are we talking about?
Can we
was
go back to
on?
Wayne in the corner? Like, that's all I care about.
Now, see, I haven't read Bands of Mourning yet. I still have to read that one. I've read Alloy of Law and Shadows of Self.
You should read Bands of Mourning before you finish Stormlight.
Yeah. I'm going to read it like with my reread.
Okay.
Good.
Investiture with a capital I, yes.
I just want to reread them all.
But yeah, also make sure when you read Bands of Mourning, or after you read Bands of Mourning, you read the short story Mistborn Secret History.
Yes.
Where you continue with Stormlight,
And
please. Thank you.
when you read the Secret History short story, feel free to scream at the top of your lungs in the Discord.
Just scream.
Just get angry. Is it an angry scream?
It's a lot of
Or an
things.
excited scream?
It's a lot of things.
It's a scream, but it's a scream for sure.
Oh.
It's a scream for sure. Yeah, and
I'm really-
Cosmere.
I'm just really excited because I want my opinion about one specific character to change.
He's a golden retriever, Jesse.
He's an obnoxious Pomeranian.
Those who don't know, Jesse's least favorite character in my archive is the best for the chat. Who's Stormlight away? He hates the Dolan, and that's
I
it.
don't like Adeline.
She hates him.
Listen, how can you, I mean,
He's terrible. He's annoying. He's
I don't
like
know
a
if you've
little...
gotten there yet.
I mean,
Yippee
the
dog.
worst thing you can say is that someone is a dog.
He's
I
a
don't think they're
He's not
that
that bad. He's not like the worst person in the world. He just annoys me.
I'm so,
golden-
like, Sadeas is right there to be mad at.
I mean, I definitely, after the end of Words of Radiance, I like him more.
Yeah,
But he's
I
still not
understand.
my favorite.
I do think that because I've obviously seen your issues with
Issues.
talk about it. I do think you will probably like him a little bit more in Oathbringer. because-
Probably.
He's my baby. Exactly.
Yeah.
Elle gets it.
I
Yeah.
started liking him more after the end of Words of Radiance.
After the event that transpires at the end.
After the events that transpired at the end of Word of Radiance.
I think you like him even more as it goes on. Especially in
That's-
rhythm.
You started liking him more. It's just so hilarious to me.
I want to like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I want
Everyone
to like
agrees.
to hate him. Like,
He is a golden retriever. Thank you.
He's a
Thank
golden retriever.
Understand.
He just wants everyone to be happy.
he annoyed me in book 1, grew on me by the end of book 2. Like,
I'm very excited to just see if you're like whether it's worse or better. Your opinion on him. I'm excited
Wow.
to see how it evolves, given that I know what happens next.
I know. I'm like,
No.
Wow. I'm so offended.
A little offended.
I mean, I can see why he would annoy people, but
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Like in Way of Kings,
like in the first book, like yeah, okay.
I completely understand. You're
there's
not-
a lot of things in book 2 that he does at the beginning that annoy me. But I'm like,
there's a lot of development, and the thing is, like, he doesn't really need much development. Like, he doesn't need a lot of like character growth because, like, he's not like
no, he's not like,
on the same level as either like the shitty characters or like the characters who are just like literally mentally unstable. He's just kind of,
right.
but yeah, he does have some growth within Words of Radiance and Oathbringer, and he kind of peaks because he's already good.
He's already good. He's just annoying, I think, I'm like, just stop.
Excited to see how your opinion changes on him in Oathbringer because
I'm excited.
stuff happens with him in Oathbringer.
This fucking just thinking about Oathbringer.
Does anyone in chat or here in the stream have any specific questions that they want to know about Cosmere or the read-along or anything?
Because we will just continue talking and you should stop us.
Exactly.
Right.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I know that Skyward is YA, right?
Yes, it's like YA sci-fi.
Okay. Are any of the Cosmere books YA or are they all adult?
No, but sometimes Mistborn Era 1 gets marketed as YA, but it's not technically YA.
Adult fantasy, but it definitely borders that line. Like if you're one of those people who like only reads YA fantasy, it's a good transitioning point because it really is like right.
Yeah, it has like a younger protagonist, I
Yeah.
will say, but the gore levels are pretty high in the later books, so like
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say they're as high as like some adult fantasy gets. Like it's not like Poppy War level.
No.
Like
No.
See, I'm so happy that you say that because I'm really looking forward to the Poppy War and I want it to go that dark.
I know.
Poppy
Yeah,
War
me
is
too.
that
Me too.
dark. I just finished all
here
three.
for this.
Poppy War gets that dark.
Yes.
Like,
You can put those in the Discord.
Add us in the Discord. Put it in one of like the spoiler chats. And
Yeah, there's like an all spoilers chat. Just
Yeah.
put it in there.
be
Arithmetist is fun. I will say Arithmetist.
I have one.
read Arithmetist. That's one I haven't read. Is Arithmetist. Have y'all read
YA.
Arithmetist?
I've read it, yeah.
so good. And definitely, is it YA?
I think
It's YA.
Is it YA? Because I
Yeah.
think it borders middle grade, doesn't it?
That line because
It's
they're.
pretty bordery, but I think it's YA.
I think it's technically marketed as YA.
Okay, what was your question, Max?
Oh, it was the short stories
Yes.
that are in the schedule for our read along. How important are they for me to read in place, or can I like read them all as and when?
Most of them you could just literally pick up like the story collection and just read all of them at once, like after the fact. Obviously, some go like certain places in the timelines, but they're not like important to read at that time. The one that I will say is the most important is Mistborn Secret History. You read it after Bands of Mourning before you. Like that's on the schedule. I would definitely say that's one of the ones I tell people not to skip, even if you don't want to read like all the short stories. Don't skip that one because it does play like a role and gives you a lot of fun stuff that's relevant to like the bigger plots. And then also the novellas that are between the Stormlight books. I highly suggest you read those between the Stormlight books, like when you're supposed to. If you wanted to read them after the fact, like you could, like it doesn't spoil or anything. Like reading, like going from Words of Radiance to Oathbringer, if you don't want to read Edge Dancer in the middle of that, and you like want to go back and read Edge Dancer, it's not going to like spoil anything for Edge Dancer or the next book or anything like that. That one's not super.
Edge Dancer is so cute though.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's not like required.
I'm still
like,
curious about the pancakes. Like, I have no idea what the pancakes are about.
Pancakes before death.
Yes, before death. Yeah.
Bree and I talked about getting our tattoos edited.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting mine added too. So like this one is gonna be a sleeve.
Yeah.
Eventually. So like what I'm doing is I'm just taking like photos of book covers that I absolutely love to my artist, and he's gonna like incorporate it in like as I go along.
Nice.
That's really
So eventually it
That's
will
really
be
cool.
a full sleeve.
I'm excited for that. But yeah, all the
Oh, and Hope of Elantris, that like little short thing is not super important, but it does only make sense if you have read Elantris. It's like a little, basically a deleted scene from it,
yeah.
but it's not
Someone
super
told me
important.
Emperor's Soul was also like super important, but
Soul is not like it's not relevant to like the plot of
I don't think
Elantris.
right.
Emperor's Soul takes place on the same world as Elantris. It's like on the same planet, but you're following a different character and you're following a different magic system, like a different side of the magic system.
Okay.
It's very,
That
but it's like a very short, quick read. So like it's obviously like, especially if you liked Elantris, like I would suggest reading it. I might have liked it more than Elantris actually. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, it's really good, but it's not required reading.
Okay. I'm enjoying Elantris, so
Most of them are not required reading. They're just like really good bonus material. I will say that the short stories that are listed for next month after Warbreaker comes out, they're not connected to any of the main books. They're like their own on their own planets. For Silence in the Forest of Hell, I read that one. I have not read Sixth of the Dusk, but that one does have a small connection that comes up later in Stormlight. But again, it's not like a huge thing if you don't read that. Be like, oh, like it's one of the small connections, but it's fun to catch. Again, I haven't even read it, but I know about it because of me. But so like if you want to like catch all of the things, then I would suggest reading all of the things. But you're fine with most of the short stories. Like it's not required.
so people like me that's like I'm a completionist. Like read all the things.
Yeah, Emperor's Soul is real good. It's real good. It's
It's
so short.
really interesting.
Such a quick read, and it's like a fun, different side to the magic system. Like it's a whole different thing that they're doing in there. Which is really,
It's a whole different thing than Elantris.
yeah.
Like you wouldn't know that they were on the same planet unless someone told you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
6 is my favorite.
Yeah, I've not read it yet.
I'm really excited to read it. I haven't. That's one of the ones I haven't read either.
I read it this year when I read Shadows for Silence, or last year. But then I just stopped reading for a while, so I didn't get to it. But now I'll read it next month because that's when it happens in the read along.
Yeah, I think it's
one
a
short story.
Oh, does it really? I knew
I
one of
think it's a distant future one,
them. Yeah.
along with White Sands.
And I think White Sands is distant past.
Distant past. I get them all mixed up.
If it's Red White Sand, let me know in the gods. But I'm pretty sure White Sand takes like place really early on in the Cosmere timeline. I'm almost
So I have a friend that read it. I haven't read it yet, but I have a friend that read it a while back.
yeah, not ready yet. Sands is
Sands
past.
is past. Okay.
Yeah, Sixth of Dusk and White Sands are the two things I haven't read. So the only two. I'm excited to read them.
I have a question. So, Brie, you mentioned in your reading order video, like
Yes.
the shattering. That's like the main
Yes.
thing that like triggers everything. So, like, where do we get the shattering? Is it in Mistborn? Is it in Stormlight? Where is it?
The thing about the shattering, this is why I explained it in that video, because this is not something that happens in any of the books. All of the books take place well after that event. That's like the whole backstory of the
Okay.
Cosmere. Anderson is eventually going to write the story of what happened there, and that story is going to be Hoyd's story, which is the character that pops up in every book and is just mysterious and knows a lot of things, and you're just like, what the fuck is up with this guy?
World Hopper.
We're eventually going to get a series that's going to be called Dragonsteel. After Stormlight 10 is finished, but he's writing this after Stormlight 10, so it's going to be a while. But it's going to tell the story of like what happened with the Shattering, with people who like killed the ultimate god and caused all of this stuff, and it's going to be like Hoyd's story. So we're going to get to see like what he was up to in the beginning of all of this, and it'll be really, really fun. But it's going to be a while till we.
Oh my God. I just found my first Hoyd, so I'm excited.
He better. All I'm saying is Brando Sando better like eat his veggies and exercise and just live his healthiest, longest life.
His birthday.
What are you doing, kiddo?
Well, he's Mormon, so he doesn't like drink coffee, right? So he'll be fine.
Do they really now?
Alcohol.
For real?
No, they don't
I
drink
didn't
like
know that.
alcohol.
I knew they didn't drink like alcohol, but I didn't know they didn't drink coffee. Like,
I have
Nope.
not. I have not checked
Yeah, they
out.
don't drink coffee or tea.
I'm interested in it.
think-
There is a Prime. He actually was talking about this on one of his recent streams,
Yeah.
and how I think they said that how they did Wave Kings Prime for the Wave Kings like Kickstarter. When they do the Words of Radiance on the Brown Kickstarter, they might do Dragonsteel Prime. Like they might sell that as a bind, as one of the perks in the Kickstarter. So we might get that soon as like a full thing, which is nice.
Which would be cool.
I wonder if he has like a backup person. Like, you're my backup writer if
I don't think
I
so.
don't finish.
Well,
Someone-
he has,
I hope he does because
Well, someone had
you never
mentioned
know.
it a while back. I was talking. We read Promise of Blood in Jesse May's like book club recently, and he was a student. Brian McClellan was a student of Sanderson, and someone had said like he's the backup, like how Sanderson finished Wheel of Time.
I don't think Sanderson has like a
But I'm
backup
like,
as of right now.
like I don't know where this came from.
I've never heard him mention it.
I mean, having like
Yeah,
Having
he's like considered people, but I don't think he's like decided.
Yeah,
series after you die is not actually like a common thing.
right. I'm like,
Martin has a backup.
Like such a huge deal, and it was so close to finish that at that
yeah,
point, because Robert Jordan's editor was also his wife. Like
yeah, and they had all the notes and like everything.
all of the information, and he'd already written some of like the ending and stuff. Like when he
Yeah.
moved into school, and she read Mistborn. Would you stop getting into stuff?
No.
No,
But
do it.
she like immediately called him up and just signed him on to finish it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that's like a common thing. So I don't think most people are
I
like,
know
my backup if I die early.
why if I die back up, but someone had mentioned that. I was like,
That feels really like jinxing it.
right?
I feel like that's just like putting your foot in the grave on it. Like, if I die.
Like, guys, I have my backup picked out.
I mean, like he
So
might have thoughts on it if it were to happen, but I don't think he said anything anywhere that I
Right.
Does anyone know if George R. R. Martin has a backup?
I think his backup is Joe Abercrombie, isn't it?
Is it?
That would make sense.
I think it is. I think
Oh,
That would be interesting.
I'm very familiar. It's my
I've not read any Joe Abercrombie.
I think I
no, it's meant to be really good though.
I
Yeah.
know I have Blade itself, like over like chilling, and I'm just like so intimidated to read it because I'm like I don't even know what this is about. Like everyone loves it, and I just know it's grimdark.
yeah. I know I'm Doug.
I haven't been in the mood for Grimdark. The world of Grimdark.
Poppy War. I'm like let's. I had to read like House on the Cerulean Sea after I read the end of Poppy War series. I was like I need fluffy.
That's very fair. I can't wait to copy. I cannot wait.
It's so good.
It's a good book. I read it recently.
It's so good. Dragon Republic's better.
Oh.
It's the best one out of all three.
Good to know.
But I had to read light and fluffy like middle grade between them.
Just cleanse your soul.
Yes, I had to cleanse my soul.
I feel that.
Actually, that happened
I'm
recently.
a big advocate for middle grade books. They're excellent.
I love
and
middle grade.
I'm very rarely traumatized by them, so that's great.
Like you
Right?
I'm a middle grade reader too, so I totally get you.
I have a almost 8-year-old daughter, so we're getting into. She's not quite where she can read it by herself yet, but she's at the age where we can read it together, and I don't feel like
Aw.
weird. Like it's not like it's too old for my 8-year-old, you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really
So it's like just this fun little. Like my son's 4, so he just kind of doesn't sit for very long to listen to me read to him. But we try.
Right now, me and Max's sci-fi book club, we're reading the Wayfarer series. And like before that, I read a whole ton of dystopian horror thriller stuff. So when I started it, I was like, where's the chaos? I'm waiting for someone to die. And like when it didn't happen, I felt like the Grinch, like when his heart just got bigger and then it just exploded. It's like normal.
Yes.
The Wayfarer series is so hopeful
Aw.
for the future. Oh,
I want to really read that.
Right.
it's comfy as heck.
I keep hearing people talk about it recently. Like I've been hearing Steph
I
talk about
know.
other people, and I'm like, I really need to get on this. They look so fun.
That's how I felt after Cerulean Sea. I was like, it's just so precious, like, and hopeful and happy, and like, I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Sailor Moon?
Oh my, it's been so long, but yes.
Well, if you've ever seen like the
Long time
demon stuff, how she attacks with hearts and things like that, I felt like one of the demons being attacked by Becky Chambers. Like, oh, the heart. What is this?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
Alcatraz.
supposed to be starting that soon.
Alcatraz is.
I'm gonna be
Sanderson's
reading that
favorite.
like in June or something.
I have the first 2, and I still haven't read it. It's the
They're
only
real fun.
Sanderson thing other than like the 2 Cosmere short things that I haven't read. I think. So,
Yeah, I haven't read those either.
But I
They're
want-
so much fun.
They sound fun. They sound really
There's also a Mistborn reference in one of them.
fun. Oh,
Wazing is what Wazing does. Just
It
said
sounds
literal gibberish
cute.
to everyone else.
That's a reference. And it just says gibberish.
Reference, blah, blah, blah. Like, what?
We know.
It's so cute, though.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just need some sweet palate cleansers.
Yes.
I really do.
It's true.
I use manga as a palate cleanser in between books.
That makes
That's
sense.
a good palate cleanser.
Yeah.
The best references are gibberish.
Everything I read is a palate cleanser, so I don't know.
Sense is automatically connected in my head to like really nice books. Just like Spence equals nice books.
Yeah.
All those self-help books that you recommended in that one video, I wrote all of them down.
That's really fun.
Favorite sci-fi fantasy besides Brandon?
Fandom? I don't know.
Oh my god, I don't know how to pick one. That's the problem.
There's so many.
Oh my, how do you pick one?
Right?
Have to be sci-fi and fantasy.
Or is it like 4? I assume.
I
You
love.
can name as many books as you want.
Yeah.
I
We have
also
no rules here.
N.K. Jemisin, like the
Yeah.
Broken Earth.
I still haven't read it, and it's killing me. It's killing me.
Oh my god! I think I told you there's going to be a small child reference at some point. As a mom, I think that's what got me the most with Broken Earth, because like it's not a spoiler. It's in the very first page, and it's on the synopsis. Like she's dealing with the death of a toddler son, and I obviously have a toddler son,
Yeah.
so it was like it hit kind of hard.
Still need to
And
read
the
that.
rest of the series, like, ugh.
But that's mostly fantasy, right? That's not sci-fi.
It's like they classify it as like sci fantasy because it's very science based. Because like even the terms she used, like orogeny is like an actual like science. I didn't know this. I had to look it up, but like didn't know it was like a real thing. But she goes into a lot of like geology in it.
That's my
Do you ever
favorite.
have like a fantasy series where you read it and you can't find anyone else that's read it?
Yeah,
You're alone in your fandom? For me, like my favorite ever fantasy series I've ever read is called the Bus Lag trilogy. And it's by a British Iranian guy called China Mieville, who I talk about to death on my channel. But like his fantasy trilogy called the Bus Lag trilogy is the best fantasy I've ever read.
I'll have to look into that.
Right?
It is amazing.
I've never read makes me want to look into it.
Right.
Max is tired of like
though.
video.
Yeah.
Everything off this.
Right. It's like just right. This just makes my Amazon list longer.
Right?
Every video I watch is like, why is my wish list so long?
Yeah, exactly.
Just sci-fi though. I read Born by Jeff Vandermeer this year.
Jeff Vandermeer's so good.
So weird and so good.
Have you read the sequel?
No, which one? Dead Astronauts?
Oh, it's amazing.
I picked
It's
it up, but
really
I haven't
cool.
read it yet.
It's
love
really
it.
good.
You're the first person I've heard say that they like Dead Astronauts.
I
Yeah,
love Dead Astronauts. It's
Everyone
so
I
good.
loved it.
They didn't like it.
I loved
Oh.
Born though.
I don't know.
It's like it's really hard to follow. So it's one of those things that's like around so much, and it's so many different points of view, and you have to like piece together what is going on as you're reading it, and it's like a nightmare to read, but like a really beautiful nightmare.
I love that. That's a good question.
That sounds like Jeff Vandermeer. A Beautiful Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vandermeer's very, very weird.
He's got one coming out this year, actually.
Oh, really?
Hummingbird Salamander, and that sounds amazing.
That's
Really.
just a great title.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a great title.
Already sold.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I read the Annihilation trilogy by him, and I really liked it.
Oh, I love that series.
I
I love
picked it
that
up,
series.
but I haven't read it yet.
It's so weird.
I didn't vibe with that series.
I've been into weird lately. Like, I don't know what it is. I've been into weird. You tell me it's weird, and I want to read it.
I like weird too, but I don't know. Maybe I need to reread it. I was just like, what is
Like,
happening?
what's going on? Because
There's a
I
lot
read Starless Sea too, and that was like weird in a different way. Like, it was just like lyrically weird. I'm
Hmm.
like,
Not a lot.
I love this.
I don't think Annihilation or Born is Vandermeer's best work, though.
Oh no.
No, I think his ambergris stuff is the best.
I haven't
It's
read
like it's so about mushrooms, like you wouldn't believe how about mushrooms it is, but it's so good, really cool.
that seems like on brand though, for what I know about
Oh, yeah.
Vandermeer. Like, yeah.
Definitely.
Like, it's about mushrooms. Okay.
You know who I have not been disappointed by? Blake Crouch.
I've never read anything by Blake Crouch.
Recursion.
I read Dark Matter, and that's all I've read. But I really liked it.
It's really good. He's really, really good. A lot of like multi-dimensional time travel.
Fun.
Good stuff.
It's not something I would have picked up like on my own, but we did like a Secret Santa type thing with a bunch of different booktubers and like had to read their favorite book.
Mm.
And
that's cool.
I got Jade at Bedtime Bookworm who loved Dark Matter. I'm like, perfect. Like, it's a standalone. I don't have to start a new series. Like,
There you go.
'cause I was just hoping not to get like someone that loved like Malazan. I was like, please don't let me get Andy.
That'd just be mean.
I'm not doing it, y'all. I'm not doing it.
It's way too much to just sign up for something like that.
I can't sign up for that. I'm not co-signing.
I saw Wayward and immediately thought Wayward Children's, which is so good.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, I want to read that one. I've heard so many good
Yeah.
things.
It's so good. And Murderbot is also amazing. I'm not all the way caught up, but I love
Oh,
Murderbot.
that's on my TBR as well.
Yeah, I want to start that this year, actually.
And the audiobooks for Murderbot, I think all of them, at least the first 4, are by Kevin R. Free, who did stuff for Welcome to Night Vale, and his voice is so soothing. And it's just a great matchup for like Murderbot. Kevin
Aw.
R. Free. They're really good audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my own shelves.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I was on a hunt this year to like specifically find like sci-fi and fantasy books with like older mothers as like either main characters or like in the main cast.
Oh, I can recommend you one.
Oh, tell me.
Tangled Lands by Paolo Bacigalupi.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's 3 short stories set in the same world, and one of them is about a 40-year-old mother.
Love it.
Really
Because
cool.
like that was like my like hunt this year. Because like I read like Broken Earth, and then N.K. Jemisin's other series, City We Became, that she just released.
Oh yeah.
Sword of Kaigen is another really good one if you haven't read that. It is also self-published.
I've heard nothing but good things about
So
Sword.
good. It's weird. Like it's very different, but it's really good.
Weird and good.
Weird and good. That's all I need.
That's all I want to read.
Always here for weird.
It's my whole life.
Crab costume.
I mean, yeah, we're
Hello, I'm in a crab costume.
He says, just chilling in her crab.
It's actually a very comfortable outfit. I'm glad I picked this.
That's really good. I'm happy for you.
Oh yeah, there's a comment down there. This is the first part of Broken Earth in second person. Yeah, that's what made it hit hard. It's also written in second person.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that it's really weird, but I think it's weird. I really want to read it.
But that second person made that first bit hit real hard because it's like you're laying with your dead son, and I'm like, like I'm a ball of tears.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I died, and I'm like, this is great. Let's read the rest of it.
Second person always reminds me of those old like choose your own adventure books.
Well, yeah.
Ones are like, if you do blah blah blah, turn to page 72.
Those are the best though.
That's really cute though.
Yes,
I like
maybe
when
that.
the book tricks me into thinking I have agency. It's really cool.
It's nice.
It is. It's great. Like you're talking right to me.
Really funny.
Most of the time. There's like sometimes where it like breaks the fourth wall, and I'm like, what's
Are we
going on
doing-
here?
Are we doing only
Like,
like,
what is this?
like high fantasy and hard sci-fi, or are we doing light stuff too?
Like Cruel Prince did it to me, and I'm like, what is this weird chapter where you just like stop and you're like, just so you know, guys.
Oh no. I don't read
I
that.
haven't read it yet.
No.
No, I
Oh, I
Wasn't
will.
my jam. A
because
lot of people love it.
I like it.
Wasn't my thing.
Jesse didn't like it, and we have the same opinions on Throne of Glass, so I was like, I'm probably not gonna like that
I
either.
mean, Sword of Glass doesn't count.
I tried it.
Doesn't
It doesn't count as a.
sorry to end.
I was bored.
Not a
With berries, right? Berry.
fan.
That's
Very-
the other one.
I don't like fairies. I've realized that. I've
Oh,
not read a
what?
fairy book I've liked.
Either
Have you read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell?
No, not yet, but that is on my
No.
list. I
That's
did
the
not know
best
that.
best fairy book.
It's a
That's
I
very
love
good.
fairies.
Yep.
but it's not like fairy romance. Like I
No,
think,
no.
yeah. So that's I
Listen,
think my
You
thing.
can't judge fairies by Sarah J. Maas. That's not fair to fairies.
That's my problem. I judge it by Holly Black and Sarah J. Maas.
I've not read a ton of fairy stuff, and most of it was Sarah J. Maas, but I've not liked any of it. So I think I just don't like fairies. I think it's just that I don't like fairies.
That's
I
just offensive.
Not like the writing in Throne of Glass,
Offensive to fairies.
but
I don't like fairy romance. Let's go with that.
yeah,
If we can call Cruel Prince a romance, which I do not.
I wouldn't.
I mean, can you call Throne of Glass a romance?
I don't know. I only read the first book, but
technically you kind of can.
it's not as bad as Cruel Prince. There's like literal bullying, and you're like, we want them to be together. And I'm like, no, we don't.
People are really into bully romances. Dresden Files has Faye. Oh, it's been so long.
Oh, I've been wanting to read Dresden.
Dresden Files is really good.
Getting into
Yeah.
that this year.
I'm on book 7, I think. 6 or 7.
I think I only read up till book 4 or 5. I don't remember now. I really liked the show though, which was not a normal thing I say about.
That is an unpopular opinion.
I know, but I really liked.
There is a show.
There was a Dresden Files show. I think it only lasted like one season.
We don't talk about it.
It was horrible. Like I don't like it because it was good. I liked it because it was garbage and so much fun.
Not like the Shadowhunter show. We like it because it's bad.
Yes,
Yes.
with less like really hot people. The Shadowhunters has like a weird amount of really hot people in it.
What about
Why we like the show.
individuals? Yeah. That's weird.
That's one I couldn't get into either. It was the Shadowhunters show.
I tried. I liked the books when I was younger. I never finished them though.
I finished the first 6.
I've
All the
read-
Mortal Instruments. I don't remember them. Like I don't remember the ending.
3 of the Mortal Instruments because I read those multiple times because I really liked it. Because it was just fun. Like it wasn't like gore,
Yeah.
but it was fun. It was a fun like reread book. But then like, when I got into books 5 and I don't know if I read 6. I know I read 5.
I think I read.
I was like, is this that you could have just stopped at 3? And then I haven't read any of the other series that are like tied to it, which I've heard are all better. But I read it.
I really like Infernal Devices.
I have those on my shelf.
They're a lot of fun. They're like so angsty and so like they're so angsty. It's ridiculous. It's so much fun.
I'll have to try them. I plan on reading them. So I got them at like a used bookstore. Like they had all 3 of them. I'm like, perfect. Like for $3. Like, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
That was a good deal.
I can't turn down a good deal on a used book.
No. Can't go into a used bookstore without like a wad of cash because it's like
Right.
a wad of books.
Miss you, bookstore.
Me too.
I haven't been in a bookstore since February.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Dang.
Other than stuff I was able to pick up my Rhythm of War in November, I don't actually remember when the last time I went into a bookstore was.
I did go into Barnes & Noble in July for my birthday, and I bought Oathbringer.
It's a good birthday present for yourself.
But that was it. Like,
Yeah, well, it wasn't like a true. You just like went in and bought it.
I
and
literally
left.
went in, bought it, and like left. Like, it
Like,
wasn't
I went in, picked up Rhythm of War, I literally walked in, grabbed it off the shelf, paid, and walked right out. Like I didn't look at anything.
Like, that doesn't count.
I work in retail, so it's like I'm out there in the world.
Yeah.
And I hate the people who come into my store. I'm like, you don't need to be here. Get out, get out, get out.
Oh, I remember reading.
That person when I have to go out and get things, I'm like, I'm in and out quick, getting what I need, and I'm gone.
I don't miss retail.
It's the worst. It's so much worse now than it used to be. You
Oh,
see,
I'm sure.
the pandemic, it's worse. It's worse.
So people need those T-shirts, Brianna. They
Really
need
do.
those Target T-shirts and to try them all on.
Oh, they can't try them on now. The fitting room, that's just one true blessing. Fitting rooms have been closed for here. I'm like, please, let's never open them up again.
That and food service.
Yes.
Oh, I could never work in food service. No.
I waited tables, and then I was a bartender for like 10 years. Like, I was a bartender.
10 years. That
I
must have
started
been
at,
so depressing.
yeah. Well, I started working in restaurants at like 14,
Oh, yeah.
like bussing tables, and then up until I was like 24 when I had my daughter. I went through like I've done everything in a restaurant, and people suck.
People suck.
People really suck.
That's why we're all here on the internet with all the cool book people.
Exactly. Those
People on the internet don't suck because a lot of them do. This corner is nice.
This is the nice corner of the internet.
Corners
If
we have
you're-
are good.
Listen, just remember to tip your food service people.
Yes, tip them well.
20%.
Yes.
That's so weird. Like in the US, tipping is so big, but in the UK, you'd be lucky if you ever got a tip.
Yeah,
Same
it's like
here,
not a
the
thing over
Philippines,
there.
yeah.
But they're also paid a
Nothing.
wage.
Yeah.
Opposed to like here, like think when I left, I was making like 2 something an hour. So like I paid taxes. Like my paycheck was always nothing. It paid taxes.
Yeah.
So like, because you still have to pay taxes on your tips. So you have to claim them on your income taxes. And then if somebody did not tip you, you actually had to still pay out on what your tip should have been.
So
What?
No,
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Because of tip sharing for like the rest of the staff. So like the hosts get a percentage and the bartenders get a percentage when you're serving. So it varies by restaurant, but like where I worked in most places that are like chains, it was like a small percentage was taking out every night for your tip share, divided amongst like different people that didn't actually get tipped.
Mhm.
So if you go in and then don't tip, I'm actually essentially paying
Yeah.
to wait on you. Like I am paying to do my job.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's-
So, as someone that works in politics, just real quick, some things we can do about that is to talk to your state legislators because
Right.
they control your state minimum wage and ask them to not do 2-tiered systems and just pay people, just make one minimum wage. It'd be so easy to make everyone's life easier.
A
yes.
living minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. The second thing you can do is read about the history of tipping. It's super interesting. All of us are book people.
It is.
Tipping in the United States started after the Civil War as a way to not pay Black people. It's a fun, weird, bad history of our
I
country.
didn't know that.
A lot of our history is bad.
I mean, I didn't know that specifically, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Explains a lot.
Until we change things, though, tip people 20%. Tip your
Right.
waiters, your bartenders, your tattoo people,
Mm-hmm.
anyone.
All the people.
Bring
All
cash
the
to
people.
bring cash to tip people if you can,
Gosh.
especially tattoo people.
Yes.
There's a charge.
I always tip my tattoo guy, even though he gives me a discount because he's like a family friend.
I always tap.
He's like, Jess, I'm like, I'm still going to give you this money.
Everywhere's possible.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
Oh, yikes. Yeah.
And that's true.
Some fandoms are scary. Let's agree.
Some people are scary, not
Some fandoms that have a scary corner.
Honestly, even like the
Yeah,
Cosmere
but
fandom, though.
which fandoms are like super like aggressive though?
There are some fandoms that are a little bit just they need to tone it down. I'm like,
Yeah.
right now,
Okay.
I'm gonna say I see most of those people on Twitter. Y'all need to tone it down.
So this is not book related, but K-pop fandom.
Oh, they're wild.
I am a K-popper, and I've been to some contests and concerts, and I have to say things have gotten physical. People fight. I went a while ago. I went to this one K-pop years ago. I went to this one concert, and it got to the point where they had to stop the concert, and the singers had to ask everyone to back up because people were leaving from the front row on stretchers. Like we were all being squished. And I remember I was in the pit, and then this girl behind me thought that if she charged and then rammed herself into me, that she could make her way to the line in front of me, and that did not happen.
My God. I've been in like less violent mosh pits at like metal concerts.
Yes. I mean, I've been to mosh pits too, but like
they're a little more you know what you're getting at like a metal concert.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I wouldn't expect that at a K-pop.
Exactly.
Like I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, like in a mosh pit, you go in swinging, you know you can get punched in the face. But a K-pop concert, you just gotta kind of like look around.
There's going for it.
So
Wear
weird.
a helmet.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's people in every fandom. No fandom is pure. Like,
No fandom is safe.
yeah, you gotta protect yourself because everything has bad beats in it.
Like I'll even say like the Sanderson fandom. Like I've seen some like like who is it? Leanne's Library. She didn't like Way of Kings. She didn't hate it, she just didn't like it. And like she made a video review about it and like, oh my God, the comment. She had to like private the video.
There's a lot of I don't actually know the age of most of these people, but I feel like it's all the young
The babies.
the babies, like the under 20, like not legal children of the
dude bros.
I have
It's a lot of the dude bros.
dude bros too, like the Reddit
Dude bros and the children.
Oh God.
like
And the
Reddit,
Rage of Dragons dude bros are real scary too, let me tell you.
yeah, those ones are the ones who like you could tweet something and you're not like subtweeting anyone, you're just putting like your opinion out there and they'll just come for you. I see it happen. The amount of people I've had to unfollow and block. So first I was like, oh, you're a cool like Cosmere fan account, and then I'm like, oh my God, you're like 14 and you're creating drama out of nothing.
Right?
I see it all the time, and like people who are like mutuals on Twitter, I'll see them like replying and engaging with this stuff, and I'm like, I assume you're all children.
I assume you're all children. I'm not on Twitter much.
No,
it's very like
watching this if you were younger, like, I'm sure you were fine, but I think a lot of the Twitter ones are like just younger people who just like do not have a sense of like maturity online.
I'm sorry, but the plant YouTube community apparently has drama.
What?
You know what? That makes sense to me.
Honestly, I kind of love to hear that. Like, it's not good.
the mom Instagram community.
Oh yeah, any mom community is scary to me.
Moms are terrifying, especially, and no offense, but the white ones scare the heck out of me.
I am sorry.
Self-aware.
Yeah, I am self-aware on this. But, yes. The Disney side, because like I started out with a mom blog. I still do it, and a mom Instagram, and then I kind of do a lot of work with Disney like, when events are a thing. Like I used to go to a lot of like media events, and whoo, they're fun, but like there's some people that get real mad, like real mad. If you don't know like absolutely everything about Disney and they see that you're at a Disney event and you're like, you know, sharing an Instagram story, you're like, well, it's not this, it's da 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 da. And you're like,
Yeah.
they get mad that they like invite bloggers to events. And you're like, well, that's like the whole like concept. Like,
Yeah.
How do
Why they
you
have
know?
events?
Who also intimidates me, this is like kind of bookish, but also not, the Walking Dead fandom.
oh yeah.
Because I saw a video. I
They
watched
cray.
it. Yeah, like I love The Walking Dead up until the last season. But the point is that I saw this panel and they were interviewing I think it was like Comic-Con or something. They were interviewing the actors. And the questions that people were asking were not even about the story. It was just like, what would Carol do if she was locked in a factory and then she had this many zombies around her? It's like all these hypothetical situations. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
how would the actor know? Like, shouldn't you be asking the
Just
right?
gonna make that up. There's maybe this is what would happen.
Like,
It's like the supernatural fandom too.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love the show. Like I've been to conventions, but
I've never been to a convention, and I was
it's so
scared,
fun.
but I wanted to go to one because I want to go to a Loud and Swain concert.
I went.
It was they're really good. Like I was actually pregnant with my son when I went. So it was like 4 years ago, but it was so much fun. But man, again,
Those
them
people are
panels,
scary.
some people get cray.
Yeah. Which is why they started like vetting their questions and everything.
Yeah. They get cray. But
You
it
know
was fun,
who's
like with the
really
regular people.
You know who's a really nice fandom though, and this is just personal experience. Like heavy metal fandoms are just
Yes.
really nice
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That sounds about
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
Like when we go to concerts and stuff, we'll be tailgating and everyone's sharing food and drinking.
yeah.
Obviously pre-pandemic, but like everyone was
Right.
so welcoming. And then at like other things where it's like, oh, this is sweet. It's like, no.
Right.
Yeah, like at a
In the
bubblegum
time
pop show.
before,
Nah,
Yeah.
never.
your heavy metal fans are very nice people. I love like heavy metal concerts and stuff. Like
I like concerts. I miss concerts.
I miss concerts in general.
No.
anything entertaining and fun with other people.
I was supposed to take Willow to a concert this year. Obviously, that didn't happen. I was like, I'm excited. I'm gonna take her to her first concert. Like, it's gonna be so much fun. Nope.
Mm.
Mm.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
Me? Oh God.
Corn.
Corn.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
Yeah, actually, I've seen them like 4 times. So I saw them. My dad took me when I was in like middle school, and then actually, me and my husband, we didn't do a honeymoon. We went to see Corn for our wedding,
Nice.
so we got front row. It was like so cool. It was
That's
Corn
awesome.
and Stone Sour. So if you know Corey Joe, who the Slipknot, that was a great show.
Love that. I went to see Avenged Sevenfold
Nice.
before the Rev passed. And then it was like Bullet for My Valentine was there, and they were fantastic. And then Atreyu was there, and they were awful. So I was really disappointed because I loved them. And then I went to see NSYNC when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I saw NSYNC and I saw Britney Spears like
There you go.
as a child before she went off the deep end.
See, my first concert, Bree's gonna get this, and Katrina. My first concert was a Wizard Rock concert.
Yes.
So I saw Draco and the Malfoys and the Whomping Willows. Oh God, who else was there? Was that Rizdi? Haley will know. Haley, are you still here? Who was at our first concert?
Haley's still here.
Oh, it was at like Rhode Island School of Design.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they have concerts there sometimes, and it's just in like a random room in a random building that you have to hike up like 4 hills to get to. The hills at RISD. The people that go to RISD have calves of steel.
That's really funny.
I saw a lot of country concerts as a kid because for some reason they would come to like I live in Ocala, so like Silver Springs is like used to be a big thing, and like all these like weird country bands would come, and so we'd go just to have something to do because it was like free.
Mhm.
So I saw like Randy Travis and like
Nice.
Hank Jr. I'm like, "Ooh, okay,
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee, so I've been to a lot of country shows.
yeah,
Where's RISD? Thank you, Haley. You're my memory.
yeah." Like pretty sure Randy Travis was the first one I went to as a very young child.
Was it
I
anyone but Matt, Brian, and Brad?
always listen to country.
I listen to everything. Like, get in the car with me, you're gonna be like, "What? Who are you?"
I mean, besides the vegetables.
Because we're gonna go from like metal to country to pop to
Yeah.
classic rock to like the Beatles.
I don't care about genre in music, books, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm open.
Yeah.
Same.
We're supposed to go. We have tickets from last year before the pandemic. We're supposed to go see Rammstein last year. And that concert has been pushed back until September of this year, but who knows? It'll probably be pushed back again. But
Right. My husband and I were gonna go see Five Finger Death Punch
oh my god!
last year, but obviously like that got canceled. So I'm like, and they come to Florida like every year in November.
There's no judgment. No judgment.
There's a little bit of
Hey,
My first concert was Aaron Carter. If you even know
Awesome.
That's just a great choice.
I mean that is
was Aaron Carter. That's where I was.
some nostalgia right there.
9 or 10. I was real young. My dad took me and my best friend, and he was upset because we just kept like running away from him because we were just like chaotic children.
Right. I mean, like I went to see NSYNC, so
After that, I think it was like Simple Plan and Bowling for Soup.
Nice.
We went from like
That's
the
cool.
pop cheesy stuff to like
Yeah.
the more punk stuff as I went from like kid to teen. So that's where it evolved. Yeah, and then lots of
Mine was My Chemical Romance. That was the first one. I ever went to.
I had
Yeah.
the biggest crush on Gerard Way back in the day. Like
Great. I've seen
that was my type. Like you are emo with tight pants? Like yes, please.
I think my first concert was a benefit concert that a boy I liked was playing at. It wasn't actually good music, but he was very cute.
Not absolutely
That's
valid.
cool.
Support.
All right. I have to put heathens to bed.
All right.
You gonna say hi?
Hi.
You're famous
little-
now. Yeah.
My littlest crab. Or my not quite littlest crab. She's about as tall as me, so I have tall children and I am short. All right. Say bye.
All right. And then there were 6. So
I'm really moving up in the world.
Douche.
I'm proud of you. Haley was supposed to see My Chemical Romance in September. One day.
That'd be so nice.
one day.
Fun. Are they still making music?
They came back to
We
do
came back.
tour and stuff, right? And then that was like right when the pandemic hit.
Oh.
There were so many people who were so excited to like go see them, and then it was like, oh, that got pushed back. It's still getting pushed back. It's not happening.
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
One day we'll go to concerts again.
I miss concerts. I miss conventions. I miss just seeing Casey and Chris.
The last concert we went to was probably Icon for Hire, right?
It was Icon for Hire. No, not this past November. The one in 2018. 19. I can't. You know what? Years time is all fake.
It doesn't matter. Time is fake.
19. Yeah, that was my last concert. It was a good one.
The last concert we went to Knotfest, so we saw Slipknot 2019. I think. It feels like ages ago.
Yeah. It does.
2019 is like what?
Yeah. They crammed.
I did voter registration stuff at the Lumineers concert in like February.
Oh, I wanted to go to that.
It was pretty good. I left after like 4 songs though because I was tired.
Yeah, I
got
got
it
it.
so it's fine. but-
I really like the Lumineers. I've been wanting to go check them out if that ever gets to happen.
I like the Lumineers too. Remember when there was this YouTube ad and like the Lumineers, like Ho Hey, I think, or Hey Ho?
Yes,
I
hey
forget the title. It
yeah.
was like on every YouTube ad ever. That was how I was introduced, and people were annoyed, but I wasn't. I didn't
That's a
skip
great
that ad
call.
at all. I was like, let's
No.
get it.
That's really-
Yeah.
Listen, the 2000 bands have nothing else to do but to come back, so they're all bored.
Aren't we all? Yes.
They could be wearing crab costumes for their comeback as well.
You just don't know.
Crab costumes
I'm
for
curious to
all.
see, like, for us newbies, like, how many of the Cosmere newbies will be, like, full-on, like, Brandon Sanderson fans, like, by the end of this year. or how many will kind of like drop off the grid and kind of like feel mad about.
We'll have to like run a poll at the end and see who stuck through and is like in it for life. Who's like, yeah, I can't wait for the next book. Crabs. Crabs.
I'm trying to like hurry up and finish up all the series I was doing before I really get into this with you guys, because I know I'm gonna be sucked in. Like I'm never gonna finish everything else.
Yeah.
I feel that. I know it's like there's so many things I want to read right now, but it's also like, well, now I'm just reading the entire Cosmere. It's like so much. Like I want to, obviously, because all I want to do is just reread Cosmere all the time. But it's also like I gotta read other things.
Oh, Armand's here. Oh my gosh, he's the one who gifted us our wedding corn tickets. Hi, Armand. We did. That was so fun. Behemoth spit on us. It was great.
Oh.
I'm glad we're doing it in this way, though, the Cosmere reread, because if we weren't doing it like this, we would have just blew through them all so fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this time we can marinate on them.
Been like every 2 years, we're like, God, we need to reread Mistborn. Like, I cannot wait to reread Mistborn.
Every time.
I think we've only read Mistborn Era 1 3 times.
I think so.
Only. I
Probably
read
3.
on the low end for me.
There was one time that we were rereading Mistborn, and I was visiting Bree at the time, and we had one copy of Well of Ascension, and I would read it and then leave it on her coffee table, and then she would read it and then leave it on the coffee table as well, and I would come down and get it because our sleep schedules were slightly off, because Justin works nights, and so he's up till 7 a.m. And we were literally just like the purest form of a buddy read, like reading from the same book.
Yep.
That's cool.
Also, about how fast Casey reads during that reread, when we were reading The Hero of Ages, which is the third book and final book of the first trilogy, we were, we would stop and start at the same time. We'd start and then we would read, but Casey would always just bulldoze past me because she reads so fast. So this was after she left, she was visiting, she went home. So I texted her. I was supposed to text her when I started, but I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna read for half an hour and get 30 good pages in before I tell her I started, so I can get a head start. And I did that. And I was like, okay, I started now. 20 minutes later, she was 40 pages ahead of me. I was like, what? What the hell?
Speed reader.
I read really fast.
That's good. I take my time. Actually, funny story. So this random story. So when I used to take the train into the city for work, I would always be reading a book. And I remember this one time I was reading for the 30-minute train ride. And then at some point I flipped a page and the person next to me goes, "Hey, I wasn't done." And I was like, excuse me? Oh, okay. Here you go.
That's so awkward, but it's hilarious.
Right? How do you just jump in the middle of the book? Wait, what?
It really is.
I love reading on subways or trains.
Yeah, me too. Public transport reading is so cozy.
It is.
It's really nice.
I'll never do it again. It's fine.
Really?
I still miss one apartment I had 3 years ago, and it was at one end of the subway line, and at the other end was a mall, and there was 45 minutes of pure reading time. No interruptions or transfers. And then at the end, I could go to a bookstore.
That's a dream.
Ideal situation. Yeah, we read Dawn Chart very quickly.
Yeah, Dawn Chart is
between. It was so good. It was so good.
Not bragging, but I get to go to the bookstore every day.
I wish I had your job.
I work retail anyways. I would much rather work in a bookstore.
Yeah.
Much rather. I would be so much happier. I wouldn't have to fold clothes every day. See, the thing is, my laundry never gets put away at home because when I'm at work, I'm always just folding the same tables of clothes over and over and over. So when I come home, it's I do the laundry and then it just sits in a basket until I'm there's 4 things left in it. So I've just been pulling stuff out of it. I'm I'll put it away now.
So, because I know, Bree, you said you work at Target?
Yeah.
So I used to work at Target when I was in high school. And I used to be in the towel section. I used to be assigned folding the towels for 8 hours a day.
Yep.
To throw such a fit. Yeah.
I've been sent over to fold the towels, and honestly, I hate the towels. Because specific way, so they're all like lined up and pretty, and they like match. And I'm like,
And then someone will come and be like, I like the middle one. It's just like.
you gotta get your size out. Although I will say, for just anyone who's watching, when you're shopping for retail, like if you're gonna look at a folded shirt, you can look at the one on the top before you need to pull your size out. Like you don't gotta pull out the large to look at the design. You can look at the extra small. I promise, it's the same design. Okay.
Brief trauma.
Breakdowns I've almost had over that situation. Oh, goodbye. Thank you for
Thank you for joining.
Yes, I will try to figure out the date for the Elantris live show. It'll be sometime in the last week of this month. We'll probably try to figure that out in the next like day or two so we can get you guys prepared for it. I remember I like screenshotted all the answers everyone gave me in the Discord so I could go back. So like I'm never gonna find those again. So I just took screenshots every time someone replied with like their best time. So we'll try to see what works best for everybody. Please tell age of all of them. I don't understand what this is asking. Are you asking for our ages? Is that what this question is? I'm not quite sure. I'm 29, if that's what you're asking. I'm almost 30. And Steph
just had her birthday too.
Yay! My birthday yesterday and today.
And today.
because you have a weird birthday time, which is amazing.
Weird birthday. I was born at midnight, and I was born at midnight. And
cool.
so technically it's the 10th, which is today, but the doctor wrote the 9th on my certificate, so I have 2 birthdays.
It's actually amazing.
Good for you.
Hello.
I guess I'll continue the ages. I'm 25. I don't know if that's actually a question or not, but
I don't know what else that could be asking. So if
I know
that's
I was like 12.
yeah,
Especially with the crab hoodie, but
I'm literally almost 30. Like not like physically aged since I hit 16, and the amount of time when people will just like when I'm at work and like they have to put me on the register, they're like, "Oh, can you ring up alcohol?" And I'm like, "Yes, please, just for the love of God." Like I'm wearing you can't even see my whole face. How can you tell how young I look? I swear I'm an adult.
I have aged physically since 16, but my face is not.
My face is obviously not. And also I'm still very short. I never got tall.
That too. But like my bones are broken, so
Broken bones.
I'm 28, but I've looked like this since I was 12.
You know what? I believe it. I believe
That's
it for some reason.
concerning.
That's fantastic.
I love it. I love it.
I'm 21. I'm the baby in the group.
Baby.
Love it.
And confirm.
Katrina, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 26, so we got that good 20s
Got a
range.
Yeah. I think is 30? 31. She's like right around that.
Mm.
So I don't know if that was a question, but now you guys know. Yes.
How old is Brandon Sanderson?
30?
I don't actually know that.
Great.
Hopefully young enough that he can finish these books.
Yes.
I'm gonna Google.
We're not in a George R. R. Martin situation.
no.
He's 45. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Still great.
Okay.
45.
He's got time. He's got time.
He's good.
Does he though?
26.
He just like weeks.
If he lives to be 100, he's not even halfway there. It's great.
There you go.
Right, I think I'm gonna dip because it's nearly 2 a.m. here.
Oh, that's late for you.
Oh my god.
Bye, Max.
See you later.
Later.
Alright.
There were. I'm gonna say it every time.
Oh yeah, that's how it works.
Say it for the last one standing.
It's gonna be you and me. It's always
This is
is.
the Hunger Games. This isn't the Cosmere Crabalong.
Is there anybody in the chat who has any other Cosmere questions or just wants to know anything about the read along? We've gone all over the place with topics, so let's cycle back around, see what.
We don't know what a topic is if it hit us in the face.
No. Obviously, the live
What's
stream
Cosmere?
will be more topic focused because the live stream going forward will focus on each book for that month, and there will be spoiler streams where we will talk spoilers about that month's book. So keep that in mind for the future.
If I can magically squeeze in Elantris somewhere in the last week of January, I will. Wait, when is the live stream?
We haven't decided.
Right? Okay. If I can squeeze it in by the time you announce it, I will let you know.
Try to figure in the next day or two. I'll go over like what the people I'll ask again just in case anybody else wants to put in their opinions, and then I'll see what the best times for the people who are reading it said, and then go over it with you guys so we can like coordinate what's the best time for live. I feel so bad because like Max is on the low end of it being late at night, and then Spencer, you're on like the early morning, and then the rest is just kind of in the middle. So like the rest is fine whenever. But I feel like trying to coordinate you two on the opposite end of the spectrum is going to be the difficult part. But we will do our best to make it easy for everyone. So, but
I think right now it's like the weekends, right? Is like most of what people said.
Yeah.
Works for me 'cause I just don't work Sundays, so like I'm always good on a Sunday. But I mean, I can take any day off. I'm gonna call out. I don't care.
Sundays are good.
But also, I'm not like we're at the dead zone of the year right after Christmas where I'm not getting any hours, so it's not gonna matter. But see, like I mean, I can do anytime. But weekends did seem to be the popular from what people were saying so far. So we end up being on the weekend, which I think like the last day of January falls on Sunday, so it'll probably end up being like the 30th or 31st. But I'm gonna go over it again before we figure out the time, all that stuff. But yeah, if you're able to squeeze it in, that'd be great. We would love to have it. I mean, if you're not gonna read it, you could also just come to the live show and just not know what we're talking about.
Examine your content.
Live show where we explain all of Elantris to Steph.
That sounds great. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Katrina's down.
Yeah. I'm honestly so excited to reread it, even though it's like my least favorite Cosmere book, just because I've never reread it before.
I only recently read it for the first time.
Yeah, Casey actually read Elantris for the first time like in September, I think, or October. Like no, it was a couple months ago, and there's a
time is fake, Bree.
So I don't think I'll do a reading vlog for this reread since you already did one for it. But people can go back and watch.
I don't think I'll ever reread Elantris. Like I like the story, but it's just not. It's not like doesn't have like a lot of reread quality, I guess. So.
Yeah, I've reread obviously Mistborn 3 times, Stormlight all the time, and then Warbreaker I think I've only read twice, but I've been wanting to because it is rereadable. It's very good.
I suck at rereading books.
Oh, you are doing great. You are doing great.
You're doing great. We figured it out.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for coming to the live show. Yeah, we figured it out. So don't you worry about your broken English. Like if you can say it at all. Like I can't speak any other languages. So you're better than me. You're doing great.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yes.
And English is what is broken because it's a dumb language.
Yes.
Like we're the
things that don't make sense.
Very true. It's my second language, and it's very true.
I like the British.
Sam.
It is English.
Elantris is definitely the weakest work in the Cosmere. It definitely better. But I will say, just like the character work is still like so strong as well. Like I remember how much I love Serene, and I've only like my reread. I've only done like 3 chapters, and I'm like, yeah, I really love her. she's so good.
I'm probably not gonna reread it.
Yeah, you
did just read it
months ago, so
maybe I'm fine.
Yeah, but you're
and I lost my copy.
You did the true.
It's in my apartment somewhere. I can't find it.
That's fine.
You ever get that feel like you see a really nice cover of a book you want, and then you don't get that cover, and it just makes you not want to read it?
Yeah.
Or feel like, oh, it's not going to be the same. Ever since I saw Casey's cover of Warbreaker, the hardback.
Yes, I want the
hardback. I didn't get the hardback. I got the mass market, which is still the same cover technically, but it's not as nice.
It's not the same at all.
Nicer. I normally prefer paperbacks over hardbacks, but like I want that hardback.
Hardback is nice.
Rare. Like you don't see it in stores, so it's also just like special.
Yeah, I've never seen it in a store before.
Isn't the only difference like the rainbow on the side?
Yeah, but it's also like bigger too. I think the main thing is like you can see it better.
Oh, yeah. Happiness.
I do have it in like the mass market, but I also have the UK edition since it's like a bigger paperback, so I'm reading it from that. Because I don't like mass markets that much. Like I have a lot, and I've read a lot of mass markets, but I prefer like the big floppy paperbacks because they're just so much like easier. I love when they flop. That's so aesthetic, just
and they're a little better quality. The mass markets are like will fall apart real fast.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like once I crack that spine, it's just gonna go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The amount of times when like I've reread books that were mass markets, especially if it was like a thicker like fantasy book, and it just broke in half like on like the 3rd read or something like that, and I would still read it like that. Like that's how I read the Sword of Truth series, the first book.
Yep.
And that I read multiple times because.
Oh yeah.
series is very long, so I was always like, I forgot everything, and I got to start again from the first book when I would go back to read it. So I reread that paperback so many times, and it was just in 2 pieces, and I would just read one half and then put it down and pick up the other half. Because
My Sword of Truth is in 3 pieces.
3 pieces. It's chunky, so like chunky mass markets will just snap.
Yeah, they're not happy. Like, I don't know how people read Stormlight.
Oh yeah, I feel so bad because I tried to get my brother to read it. He hasn't yet. I think he will eventually. I got him the mass market copy of Way Kings because it was like the only one I could find as like a Christmas present. And then I was like, you know what? Don't even read it yet. Just wait till I can get you the big copy. I was like, don't do it with the mass market. It'll ruin everything.
Like a little chunky brick.
Like, so it's just like opening it. That's also how I read most of the Game of Thrones books, was like at the mass markets, except for whatever the 5th book is called. Something about
Dance of Dragons.
the one.
I didn't get that far.
Back because when I was reading Game of Thrones, that one had like just come out, but the rest of them are all just the mass markets, and they're all just like ready to die. Yeah, I'll have to get new copies of those whenever I do reread that series, because I'm gonna have to reread it if the last book comes out.
Ever. I'm on book 4 right now, and I'm like dragging it out as much as I can.
How much happens in book 3?
I gave up in the middle of book 3.
Oh,
I was like, no. I was really liking it, but I was just like,
I think Clash of Kings was my favorite, but it's been so long, and I only read them all once, so like I don't know if that still stands. But I think it was just because I really liked Arya as one of my favorite characters, and like you got so much storyline in that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arya and Jon, that's where it's at. And Dany. Yeah.
was it the finale of Game of Thrones that we watched in London?
No.
It was just one of like the final episodes of the last season.
The final season, yeah, because we watched the final one with our friends. Just, at Tony's grandma's house. But yeah, I think it was like 3rd or 4th. It was like what, 8 episodes. I don't remember.
I don't know. I just know that I had watched seasons 1 and 2, and then we were in London together, and they had to watch the new episode of Game of Thrones, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm watching it with you," and it was amazing.
Might have been like the first one. Like that might have been the premiere episode or something.
Maybe
the season started.
It was great.
I don't know why we have to watch this right now on Justin's tablet with the 4 of us squished on this couch. Like I don't know why we were like, it has to happen right now. But
in a random London flat.
It was like, I don't know why we're like, let's just do this right now. And we were literally watching it on like a tablet this big with 4 of us crammed on the couch trying to watch it. Like that final season was trash.
Oh yeah, it was not good, but it was a lot of fun to have watched like
fun
context for what was happening. Yeah. It's a good time. I'm really excited for the Wheel of Time TV show that's coming out.
Oh, I need to read that too.
We just wrapped up.
There is a TV show coming out?
Yeah, on Amazon. Amazon Prime is doing the Wheel of Time TV show. And I think right now it's like, they don't have like a date, but I think it's like projected for later this year or start of next year. But
wow. I didn't realize it was that soon.
For a while. And I'm
they're doing Lord of the Rings too, right?
Yeah, they're doing so much on Amazon right now. They are. Yeah,
they have like, I think they have a bunch of casting stuff out for Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah. They've like already been filming. We know all of they haven't announced all of the like roles because there's certain characters that like they haven't announced who they are yet, but most of like the main cast has been announced. And I like all of them except for one. One of them is just like really doesn't fit how I pictured them, but the rest are all like A+. I'm super excited. But yeah, me and my boyfriend just finished reading Wheel of Time like right before for the movie came out. We were like, we have to finish Memory of Light right now because I cannot be reading the final Wheel of Time book while I'm reading this new Stormlight book. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So we like just crammed it in like a week before Row came out. It was so good.
And then Dawnshard dropped.
Oh yeah, and then Dawnshard came out, which is the novella between books 3 and 4 of Stormlight, and that he just dropped that like with just a mic drop. It's like, it's ready. Here you go.
No, hold on. It was November. So first of all, we were doing a writing sprint. And then Haley was like, I think something's going on Twitter. People are just chanting Destiel. And then Brie went, oh, I opened my email and Dawnshard is here. And I was like, okay, cancel the reading sprint. The writing sprint. There's a lot happening.
That was a wild night. That was a wild night.
I'm so curious how that one NaNoWriMo video got.
I don't know. I felt like we literally went from having 200 subscribers to 5,500 in like a week. Not even like the best writing vlog out of my little writing vlog series. It was like the first one.
Wow.
Not good. Like even like the thing is like I literally, because it was during NaNoWriMo, like I was, and it's also November at retail working. Like a lot was happening. So I was not putting a lot of effort into those vlogs. It was mostly just like filming the updates and then cramming them all in there without much of editing, just kind of pasting them all together. I didn't put any effort in the thumbnails. Like, those are my least favorite thumbnails on our channel, and I did that on purpose. I was like, this is low quality trash right here because it's NaNoWriMo. And then that video just, like, now it has 35,000 views. I don't know what happened. We got 5,000 subscribers in a week. Like, just so much happened. I don't understand it. Like, I assume that video just got, like, featured somewhere on YouTube or something, and a lot of people were just click and subscribe for some reason, but we haven't seen like a ton of like what's the word I'm looking for?
Other views, other interaction at all.
New interaction, or like a lot of like our watch time hasn't gone up a ton. So it's like I don't know where they came from, but they're not doing much.
Personally, I'm really disappointed in all of your new subscribers because I thought I could like ride your coattails, and they are letting me down.
I'm sorry. You can have some.
Just why?
I don't know.
I love it for you guys though. It'll catch up. They'll catch up.
We're still not convinced they're real.
I mean, like the views have gone up a bit, and like some of the watch time has definitely gone up a bit. But just general like comments and interaction and all that, like overall, has not gone up the amount it should have with that amount of a subscriber jump.
Well, even like the views have gone up like a tiny
bit. They went up a lot like immediately after, but now it's kind of plateaued to back to like what's normal for us.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's so weird. I don't understand. So yeah, if you're watching this and you're one of our new 5,000 subscribers, sup. Sup.
Go subscribe to these people right now.
Please do. I will say I was really happy with how my like favorite booktubers video turned out. Like that got a lot of views.
Video.
It did really well.
I just went and cried after, so
many people were like, oh yeah, like I found so many new people to watch this, and I was like, spread the love.
Actually, YouTube has I don't know if you guys see on your dashboard, but sometimes they put like videos from the YouTube makers themselves about how to understand like trends and all those things. They're actually really helpful videos. I just kind of binged them one day. I was like, oh, seasons. That's a thing.
I've seen those, but I haven't really watched them.
I haven't watched them either, but I listened to Haley, who works with Marvel. Yeah, and so sometimes we'll trade stats back and forth. Yeah. And I have to tell you that the Marvel YouTube stats make me feel better about my life. they're kind of sad. Sorry, Marvel.
Sorry, but your stats are a little sad.
You're like, you think Marvel would have like
real high watch times?
The highest of anything, but it's a little sad over there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fandom that doesn't care about stuff the company's making, which is so interesting. Because like there's also a fandom that is also can be incredibly toxic if you don't know everything that's happening in canon.
Yeah.
Such a weird time.
I haven't gotten back into. I don't think I'll ever get back into Marvel.
Kind of prefer Dark Horse comics.
I do like some Dark Horse. I like Image a lot.
Yeah, Image is good.
Vertigo.
I don't really like companies. I like specific storylines at this point.
Right. Like I just feel like most of the storylines that I happen to come across, they all just coincidentally are within the Dark Horse family. I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess whoever's on their marketing team is choosing. I like their taste or whatever.
Yeah, makes sense. Which is great. I really like that they have these concrete like company identities and like very specific groups they're going after. It's very fun. Partially because I can find out like 3 things someone likes and then recommend everything they should read. It makes them so easy for me personally.
We love that.
We do. It's so great when it's easy to recommend things. Sometimes people are like, will you recommend me a book? And I'm like, I need more than that. You need to give me like something else.
It's so hard. When like someone from real life who doesn't usually read finds out that you have a booktube and they're like, you should recommend me books. Just like, what?
Like, give me any information. Like, what do you read? What do you not read? What have you liked?
Like, I don't read that much. What do you recommend I should read? What do you like? You gotta like something. Like,
what TV shows do you like? What? Anything.
If you ever need Marvel recommendations, Haley has you covered.
Haley is here to help.
I will say my favorite like comics recommendation to give out is unfortunately not Marvel. As much as I love Kamala Khan and Miles Morales, they're my babies. But there was a DC superhero girls comic that I gave to a kid I was that I was nannying, and she was like 4 years old. And the next weekend, her parents like went away on a trip, and they took their kids with them because it was like to visit their grandma, who lives more than 5 hours away. And this 4-year-old was quietly reading the comic the whole time. And you can't get that in other books.
No, that's like
Nice.
that's amazing.
That's nice.
What's so
All right,
funny?
you guys, I think I gotta go. So.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Yeah. See you later.
And then there were four.
The background, the crabs are slowly disappearing now.
Casey is still here in full crab costume.
It's true. We have enough crabs to go around.
My crab hat.
I can give you crab stuff.
Crabs. Oh my god. Oh, the crabs.
Don't worry, the crabs are contagious.
Crabs are contagious.
God.
Uh,
That sounds like it needs to be a channel name in the Discord. Contagious crab.
contagious. Or like crab memes or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Gosh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make us a crab meme channel. And it's gonna be called Crabs Are Contagious. This is on you, Steph. You suggested.
Sorry.
This is what's happening now.
Every time somebody suggests I do something in the Discord, I'm like, sure, let's do it. And it always turns out great. So I'm just gonna keep doing that until it turns out
That makes sense.
it's been good so far.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm surprised that is so. Are there any TV series that are based off of Sanderson books?
No.
But they've all been optioned.
Yeah, they've like all been optioned. A lot of people like have the rights to them. I know that he's planning to write like the Mistborn screenplay himself and then get it like doctored by a real screenwriter. But he's planning to like do it himself because the people that he's been in negotiations with just like he doesn't trust them. But he's making big changes in it. I will say there's two characters in like the main group in Mistborn in the books who are men, and in the screenplay he's writing, he's changed them to women. He's just like, you know what? There were not enough women in this book. That's one of the big criticisms of Mistborn Era 1 is just like he focused so much on putting like so much effort into making the main female protagonist like such a well-rounded character that he just kind of forgot to put another lead.
He also kind of forgot to well-round the other characters.
That's true. That's true.
There's not a bunch in there.
The big insight. So like in his screenplay that he's writing, he's like, I'm fixing all of these things that I didn't do right in the book. So like normally you think like if an author wants like everything to be exactly as it was in the book, but he's the one like making those changes that people are like, what are you doing? But I kind of like it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and also like stuff that's in books that won't translate perfectly to screen.
Exactly. And like he's aware.
like, he's aware of that and he's changing it, which will be interesting.
So like I don't know when like any of that's actually going to happen. There's been a lot of talks about doing Stormlight as like a TV series, whereas Mistborn were movies. A lot of people like Stormlight to be like animated, like Avatar, Last Airbender, like in that kind of style, which would work really well for like the visuals in the books. But again, nothing's been like put to the. I don't know what the word I'm looking for there. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised that we haven't gotten any.
Oh yeah, there's board games.
Oh yeah, there are board games, which are fun.
We've played the Mistborn one.
There's a Mistborn board game. They just came out with like a Stormlight board game, which is by the like Call to Adventure people, and they made a Stormlight one. And I bought it for my boyfriend, but we haven't played it yet because we always play those games with Casey and our friend Alex, who normally visit us in November. It didn't happen, so we haven't played that game yet. But the Mistborn one was really fun.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. We have 88 people in this Discord. I don't understand.
RPG. Oh. Wait, RPG for what system? Is it like a PC game?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
In the chat. So
Oh, hang on. All right, yeah, no, there is a role-playing Mistborn game. I haven't played that one, yeah. What's it called? I don't remember. but there is one.
It's a PC game?
No, I think it's like a board game in like a.
Yeah, I think it's like a board game.
I think
Okay.
it's a board game setup. I think.
Mm.
I do know that he's also been putting it in, trying to like make video games based on the books. He definitely wants to make a big one. He's definitely been in talks about making like a Stormlight video game.
Yeah, it's a tabletop RPG.
Right.
Mm. Gotcha. Okay.
Which we have not played yet. We've played the boarding game one.
We played the one that's like it has the word Luthadel in it. Something Luthadel. Oh, like the Noble Houses, House Wars. That's what it's
House
called.
Wars, yeah.
We played that one. It was fun.
It was cute.
It was cute.
I liked the little things of the people were great.
Yes.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, no progress, like real progress has been made on like adaptations, but they're all like technically in the works. So I think eventually we'll see something. Although I definitely think most people, and also Sanderson himself, like agrees that there should not be something made of Stormlight until at least the first 5 books are done, because like that's his own arc. Especially if he's not like got a good hand in controlling that, because as we've seen what happened with the Game of Thrones, pace your writer, there are problems and it's not good.
We don't want a Game of Thrones.
We don't want a Game of Thrones.
Worst case scenario.
Yes.
I got sad that I didn't have my own crab, so I'm drawing one now.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Love crab art. I'm so excited about the emojis that Blue Crab made for us.
They're so cool.
Those are great.
Like honestly, it's so great. I should try to
Beauty.
not have the time.
We should like send them a sticker or something.
We should. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that.
We'll figure it out for lunch.
Not that many people left in the chat. We should talk about that earlier on. But we are, for those who are still here, planning on doing little, like not great, but little giveaways at the end of every live show every single month. And so I don't really know how we're going to do that because we've never done a giveaway. But it'll probably be like on Twitter, like a randomized generator on a Twitter reply or something. But yeah, we're going to do those.
Just with some stickers.
Yeah,
Because
stickers.
we're broke.
We're broke, so we were like, Redbubble has a lot of cute Cosmere stickers, so we're just gonna like hoard a bunch of those and then do giveaways, send out like a couple to every person who wins. So
That's a great idea.
we wanted to do something fun, but it was like also like, what can we do a giveaway of that's like cheap, easy. So
I didn't even know that Redbubble had Cosmere stickers. I must have looked it up.
Oh yeah, Redbubble has everything.
although I will say they don't have a ton of Elantris stickers, and we're gonna try to theme it to like each month's book with the stickers, because there's a bunch for all the other ones. So the Elantris one might not be the best batch, but that's
No problem. Throw in
yeah.
some general nonsense.
Put out like an actual proper announcement about the giveaway once we know the date of the Elantris live show. People
Speaking
who
of giveaways, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my channel. I have an idea for what I want to do, but I don't know if it's not a traditional giveaway.
am intrigued.
So
Okay.
like basically my idea is that whoever's the winner, I'm going to read their favorite book and then design custom like fan art for them,
I love that.
send it to them.
A cool giveaway. Oh my god.
I'm
Steph.
hoping to do that next month.
Well, you guys heard it here first. So if you are not subscribed to Steph's channel already, because you don't want, how cool does that sound? You don't want to miss that giveaway, guys.
That's a super cool concept.
Yeah, whenever you make like the proper announcement for that, let us know, and I will shout it into the void, because that sounds amazing.
I'm gonna probably announce it later on this month, but I'm trying to figure out like, because usually I do bookmarks and stuff, so I'm like, should I make them a bookmark? Or I'm trying to figure out like what, maybe like a phone wallpaper or something.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
So I just need to read the book first.
Mhm,
If someone gives me like the middle book in a series, I'm gonna be like, oh no.
They've tricked you.
Tricked you good.
Like,
We're gonna have some rules.
Accidentally reading like the second or third book in a series before you read the first one, being like, none of this is making any sense.
I don't know what's happening.
How would it take for someone to figure that out? Like if they didn't know, you know what I mean? That'd be fun. I'm sure people have done that before.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think I've done that before.
Oh no, that's so early.
My brother Zach tried to read the Harry Potter books a few years ago, and he picked the one with the most interesting cover.
Which one was that?
It was the 6th one. He thought the 6th one had the most interesting cover, and then he asked me why it didn't make sense.
Story about my dear boyfriend Justin. I learned this well into after dating him, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't know this about you. We met. He met my friend Haley, and he met Casey before I met him. But it was at Harry Potter conventions that we always go to. So that's how it started. I found out that how he got into Harry Potter was he watched all the movies up until the 6th one, and then he wanted to know what happened next. And so he read the 7th book after watching the first 6 movies. Like, he didn't read the first 6 books; he just read the final book in the series after watching the movies. And he was like, "Oh wait, I probably should have read it." So he started with book 7 and then went back and read them all. And I was like, I cannot believe I don't know who you are anymore.
This is a man who cosplays at Harry Potter conventions.
Wait, Justin was an adult. My brother was a literal child.
We've gone from 7 to 4. We've lost a couple of those. But yeah, we're still here. We're still crabbing. Casey's got a crab costume. So welcome
I got legs.
Right now we're talking about how weird my boyfriend was for reading the 7th Harry Potter book before he read the rest of the series. I'm still like, every time that just fact pops back up into my brain, I'm like,
Did he finish it?
He did go back and like read the whole series.
But did he finish the 7th book? Like, he didn't start it and be like, oh wait. No, he just like
the whole thing, I think he read the whole book. I was like, excuse me?
Commitment.
No.
What? Sacrilege. What?
That's wild.
That is a chaos agent right there. Yes, correct.
Speaking of cosplay, I miss cosplaying so bad. I miss conventions.
Miss conventions so much.
Cosplaying so bad.
Yes,
We have so many Cosmere cosplays in mind.
Casey and I, we have obviously, last time we went to a Sanderson signing was in 2018. Is that right?
I don't know. I had a tattoo on my foot.
29. I don't remember anything. But then at that one, we were like, oh man, we're going to plan out these cosplays. And then the next time we go to a signing, we're going to do cosplays. And obviously, it's just never happened. Which, I mean, on the one hand, it gives us more time to plan out the cosplays because we've not really done that. But
True.
on the other hand, it's like, but yeah, we have several cosplays planned. We're just general Cosmere stuff. Casey's a crab. Short and small. We're going to work our way up.
Yeah, sometimes just gotta wear a crab onesie. I would wear this to a Sanderson signing. No one would question me.
Absolutely. If next time we go to one, if we don't have a cosplay, you're wearing that. Maybe I'll get one for that. But I couldn't have justified spending $30 on it for this.
You'll get a crab costume for your 30th birthday.
That means I am 30 crabs.
Yeah, you're more than 30 crabs.
I don't know, I'm pretty small.
That's true. It's true.
We didn't say how big the crabs were. Casey.
That's true. We've also cosplayed together. We did a couples cosplay.
We did at our last Harry Potter convention too. I dressed up as Tonks and she dressed up as Remus Lupin, which is technically
fantastic.
You guys are adorable.
Yeah, my boyfriend does cosplay. He cosplays as Snape. I couldn't tell you. And he does Death Eater cosplay. So last time we went to a con, I did my own Death Eater cosplay, which I was very proud of. I actually, in this drawer, I have my silver wig, which I wear for my Death Eater cosplays. I don't know why it's in my desk, but it's in my desk.
That's where it goes.
All the other
My
cosplays.
Remus wig is already packed.
Yeah. But yeah,
One day cons will exist again.
a lot of Cosmere cosplays. Casey and I want to do a cosplay for Miss Corn Era 2. And we have some Stormlight ones planned that are really funny. I'm excited about them.
We also have nonsense ones that are Cosmere related.
Oh yeah.
Are actual nonsense. I want to do one with a trench coat and just have 20 hats and be able to be do you want a hat? From In My Trench Coat, which is Era 2 related.
Okay.
And I was like, this is so stupid, but it's so much fun. Could just offer people hats.
The character Miss Corn Era 2 is just obsessed with hats. It's a whole personality thing for him. He just always wants new hats and he's always wearing a new hat and he loves his hats.
The hat is the personality.
Yeah. It's a good time.
I love interactive cosplay like that. Like I remember a couple years ago, I was at Halloween parade, and there was this guy dressed up like Rick from Walking Dead, and he was just going around saying, "Have you seen Carl? Have you seen Carl?" Like, everywhere. It's great.
It's honestly so fun.
I loved. We've gone to a bunch of leaky cons, and one of the cosplayers. I don't think they do cons anymore. I haven't seen them in a few years, but they were a Lucius and a Draco, like a father-son. I don't know if they were actually father-son, but they were doing that cosplay. And they were always in character. And they were always amazing. And in Orlando, they were in like full suits and like dress robes and stuff. And they just walked into the pool. It's like one of my favorite convention memories.
Yes.
They were great.
Yeah. I always love cosplayers who are like, do it in character. Like they're not just like dressed up. They're like in character the whole time. It's so much fun.
Oh, there's Brie, do you remember getting back from Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
So we went to LeakyCon and we saw Deathly Hallows Part 2 in a theater with a bunch of other Harry Potter people, which was amazing, of course. And then we came back to the hotel for a Wizard Rock show, and there were 2 cosplayers laying down outside the like main Wizard Rock ballroom, dressed as Remus and Tonks, with like their hands almost touching, with their eyes shut.
Round.
And we were like, like I haven't stopped crying since I left the movie theater.
Yeah, it was upsetting. It was upsetting.
It was a lot.
Yeah. You know, cosplayers are so much fun. Yeah. Not gonna explain this, but there's a cosplay. I'll say the names because it's not. There's a cosplay that Casey and I want to do with our friend Alex as Shaylin Vale, and I'm not gonna explain why that's great, but it's great.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty great. Because yeah, I can't get into why. Spoiler, but
At the end of the year, I'll get it.
Yeah.
for sure. But yes, I'm excited for all of the books. I'm so excited so many people have joined. I just love watching new people read Cosmere. Makes me happy.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's
Oh, how cute! I love it.
That's so great.
I love him.
Our new mascot.
It's so cute. Oh my goodness.
It needs a name, but I don't know any Cosmere names. So,
Chat. Let's name the crab that Katrina drew. What do we want to name it? Cosmere related. Let you guys go off on that.
I mean, I was gonna go full chaos.
I mean, what a good crab.
Haley.
I mean,
That's not a good name, though.
there are actual crab names I could give you, but I'm not going to do that.
Hermit. That's all I got. That's the only crab name I could think of.
Ad nauseum. That's where I was gonna go. I was gonna say we should name the crab Ad nauseum.
Eli said it too. Eli said it too. Ad nauseum.
Oh, name the crab Chaos. I like that.
That's cute too.
Yeah.
Okay, the crab's full name is Chaos Ad nauseum.
Yes. For some background. Oh god, they're all coming in now. For some background, Ad nauseum was the
Void is also a good one.
ultimate god that
Void is not a crab.
where all of the Cosmere takes place. That's not really a spoiler because it's like the backstory of all of Cosmere. So anytime you actually see the word ad nauseum on page, which you don't see frequently, it's a like, oh shit moment. Somebody actually knows things moment.
Like shit is going down.
Anytime you see the word Cosmere on page or ad nauseum, you're like, whoever said that word knows stuff because most people in the books are not actually Cosmere aware.
That's true. Most people in the books are not Cosmere aware.
They're not aware of the wider Cosmere. Yes. It's a good time. It's a good time.
What?
Okay. Let me explain this. Cephandrius, was spelled with a C, is one of Hoyd's many names. Hoyd has many names. That's why he starts by the books. So he put Shell with Cephandrius. Honestly, it's so good.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's really funny, I promise.
I also love Verlaine, but I would not demote him to a lonely crab.
I would not demote him.
I wouldn't.
Demote my Verlaine.
I love him so much.
He is such a good character.
Bear the first crab.
Eli, you were coming in with some really good stuff here. I'm so glad you made it. We were at the quiet, chill times of the chat. It was a lot more active when we had everybody here. But I'm glad you're coming in with these takes.
I'm not over Shelf Andreas. I don't think I ever will be.
It's super funny. It's super funny.
An epic name. I love epic names for small things.
Yes.
Yeah.
We used to have a hamster named oh my god. From we had a Godzilla and Galvatron.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
These tiny teeny hamsters.
I love that. Like the smallest little animal with like such a big name. I love when like animals have like pets have like super just like weird names. Like I don't like when they have normal people names.
I do.
I know you know Casey. Casey was gonna get a cat and she's like, I'm gonna name this cat Nathan, and I was like, why would you do that?
Great cat name.
But you know, I love when they have like really weird names, like not even just like a normal pet name, but like a super weird name. Like on Instagram, I think I saw a cat named Cornbread, and I was like, I love this.
Awesome.
This monster truck and things like that. Like I love just super weird pet names. They bring me joy.
Crabadin.
Crabadin. Oh my god.
That's a golden retriever crab. That's an axe hound. Galvatron.
Oh, Armand remembers Godzilla and Galvatron.
I'm running out of ideas. You're doing great, Eli.
You're doing the crab's work. I was gonna say the Lord's work. I couldn't figure out where to go. Doing the crab's work.
Doing the crab's work.
I've decided to take over several small Reddits as being the only fan artist of them. So, I mean, keep it coming, guys.
Love it.
Yes.
I didn't mean to do that originally, but my favorite anime got a second season after not having anime for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And as it turns out, I am the only fan artist in that subreddit.
Wait, which anime?
It's called World Trigger. It's
Oh.
excellent. The manga went on hiatus while the author was like sick or something. And then it got put in a monthly magazine. So they ran out of content to make. But they ended it right before like a huge arc was about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, the second season just came out yesterday. And it was excellent first episode. Very high quality.
Oh, I'm
Good.
glad.
I'm glad that came back for you. Yes, that's a good name.
Yes.
That's a good name.
Armand's been telling me he wants a British bulldog and he's gonna name him Thor. And I'm like, that is such a great.
Oh,
Such a
isn't that just ad nauseum?
Adenauseum is the real crab father. Adenauseum is the crab father we made along the way.
You're struggling there.
It was a stretch. It was a stretch. I tried.
All right, guys. I think I gotta go. I have work in the morning.
Great. Get some rest.
I should probably end this soon anyway.
Hi, Steph. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
See you later. I'll see you. I can't think of crab jokes. Goodbye.
And then there were three.
There was three.
There were three. Oh my goodness. Okay. My cat sounds good.
Should we wrap this up?
We should probably wrap it up.
I mean, I guess. I have nothing to do for the next, week, but it's probably a good idea to wrap it up anyways.
Yeah, no, because we said we would go from 2 to 3 hours, and we've passed the 2, and we're down to 7 viewers now, so I feel like people have been dropping out, so we will start wrapping it up. If anybody in chat has any questions about the read along, anything that's happening, go ahead and ask now before we close this out. All that information can be found on the Twitter, which is at Cosmere Crabalong. It's missing the A because I couldn't fit it, so it's Crabalong without the A.
Long crabs.
Long. Anyways, all the links are in the description down below. If you want to join the Discord and you're not already part of the Discord, which I think everyone in here is, but if you're not, or you're watching this later, please join the Discord. It is so much fun. Most of the people in there are newbies who have not read the Cosmere, so don't be intimidated.
And if you have any questions, you can ask in the Discord. You can ask in just the crab chat or the spoiler one. And you should also subscribe to all of our lovely co-hosts if you haven't already.
Yes, you should definitely.
Especially Katrina, because they made it till the end.
Yes,
Yeah.
Katrina, last man standing.
I'm great.
Exactly.
The stamina, really.
They also make great videos, but they also made it to the end of the Hunger Games, so they win.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't die. I drew a crab. It's been a great night.
Exactly.
It's been a great night. So yes, if anybody has any questions, let us know. Obviously, hit up the Discord, follow the Twitter. All of the information is going to be posted pretty much everywhere because I don't shut up about it. So you won't miss it. We will be announcing the Elantris live show at the end of the month in the next few days. What is today? Sunday? I'll try to figure that out by like Tuesday so you guys can start planning for it and make plans. So yeah, give it a minute to see if there's anything else coming from the chat, and then we will say
A bunch of crabs.
This is a bunch of crabs, yeah.
They are the crab people.
Can't wait to figure out what the crabs are about.
I'm so excited for you to read.
I mean, there's levels of crab. So, were you here for the level of crab conversation?
Maybe?
That might have been before we got
That might have been like before we actually started. But so there's like levels of crabs. So the first level is not a spoiler, and it's just that Roshar, the world that the Stormlight Archive takes place on, has evolved in a way that like everything is a crab. Basically, everything's crustacean-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It's amazing.
Like all of the like animals are all very crustacean-y, which is very unique and interesting, and I love it. But so that's like the first layer of just everything is crabs joke. There's more that are spoilers, which we won't get into, but that's just like that's your base layer they need to know. It's just everything is crabs because everything is crabs. But there's more. There's so much more.
Yeah. I'll read it. I'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Yes, I'm so excited. Are you planning to read everything in the read along? Like books at least?
I might eventually get a little bit off pace of the readathon since I'm relying on my local library and the United States Postal Service, who's going through a tough time right now.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
But they're doing their best.
They are.
So I'm hoping to read everything.
So that's what you're planning to. Okay.
I'm planning to. It's slightly tentative.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed. I'm gonna get it all this year.
Yes. Well, that's great. I'm excited. Obviously, all of the people who are joining the read along as hosts and as readers, everybody can do whatever they want. You don't even if you're like, oh, I just read this. Like you can about those things, even if you're not currently reading at the same time. And you can read things out of order if you're like, oh, I'm in the middle of reading Stormlight right now because the book's coming out. Like go in those chats and discuss stuff in those chats now, even though it's not. Other people are doing that. It's totally fine to just kind of hop in wherever you are at any time.
That's why all the chats are all set up.
Yes. It's super organized. There's a lot there, so mute the chats that you don't want to be talking. Just as a tip, unless you're full chaotic and you just want all those notifications, then enjoy.
I turned off Discord notifications on my phone like 2 days ago. My life has drastically improved.
Yeah, I think so. There can be a lot of them.
Yeah. Justin was like, you're getting all of the notifications for that Discord. And I'm like, it's my Discord. If somebody needs something, I have to be there. So,
these are my craft children.
Yeah. All of the notifications. But all the other Discords I'm part of, most of those are like the channels are muted to certain degrees because there's a lot going on. Some of the other ones.
Almost all of them are like fully muted for me, except the crabs.
Yeah. Crabs is unmuted and our like 2 small groups that we don't really use, like our Among Us group and our writing group, those ones, because there's like 6 people in each. Eli, will you?
Probably not.
I don't believe you because you're full chaos like we are. I know you are.
I say just do it. Just check it when you are ready. You're not in charge of anything. It's fine.
To be fair, like even though I get the notifications, a lot of times like I don't actually open them until like I can go through and look at everything. But it's like I still get them all sent to my phone. So.
I like getting the notifications because then I can like do a quick scroll to see if there's anything I need to comment on.
If it's anything that's like specifically like asking me to do anything in the Discord or asking for anything or any questions.
They're like, we should figure out a bot. I'm like, oh, I can bug Brie about that when she's awake.
Yeah.
I don't know how Discord works.
Exactly. Chaos. All right. Okay. So nobody has any questions. So we are going to wrap this up. Thank you to everyone who watched this. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you for coming along. We'll do a little crab dance. This is the crab dance, Katrina.
Okay. I don't think that's for me.
That's fine. No, you don't, there's no need for crab dancing, but we started doing it in November during NaNoWriMo, which really explains everything.
That does explain a lot, yes.
Yeah.
One day we literally just started doing this and we're like, is this a crab dance? And that's our crab dance. I couldn't tell you more.
Okay.
I'm going to end the broadcast now. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to just subscribe to everybody linked in the description down below. We love you all and enjoy the read along as the months continue.
Bye.
Bye everybody.